been good from the
Welcome
Dolphins
those of
chief
you
historian, but
on
Greg Cody
YouTube looking
yesterday
for
didn't want
something to
play that
watch.
game. He wanted to
Welcome
do
to Sports
interview
Guru
with no
channel, and
Jets.
please subscribe
And it
and
looked like a
like
lot
my
of fun.
videos so
It
I can
did.
get more
I
views
kind
and
of wanted to be
help
with
me
them doing
become a
that. But
YouTube
otherwise,
star.
if I don't sit in the seat and
We're
behave
going
myself,
into the
then I'm
wild
over
card
about 0 of you
round
clowns.
as we clinch
And
the division and the number
bull.
one
You
seed.
need a bull. You need somebody that's flailing through the Matador's cape. The Dolphins this weekend play a game against a franchise that it's being reported are going to have more fans down here than Dolphin fans. So one of the things we talked about yesterday was the idea that the Dolphins have given this town over the last 20 years back to the Heat, but they can take it back at any point. All they've got to do is some winning. But what they've lost over the last 20 years of Stephen Ross is, what do you mean the Bills are going to have more fans here than the Dolphins for this game? And it's not just that they care more, they failed just as much. But they've got expectations now for a couple of years that the Dolphins have had for one. For one. This is the first year of expectations where anyone has dared to believe. The Bills have been there for 4 years and feel like the window's closing. They felt this year because of the way that they were losing. Wait a minute, did we just give up this division to the Dolphins? No, you're as good as the Dolphins. Your quarterback just turns it over a little bit because you've got a wonderful Achilles heel, which is when he's great, you can win the Super Bowl. And he can lose in the first round with 4 turnovers because he's running around and fumbling and stuff. And the Dolphins are playing a different game. They don't have that quarterback. That's not the quarterback they have. They've got to scheme a bunch of things so that Tyreek Hill and now no Waddle and Mostert can out-scheme. The game you have this weekend is a quarterback. I'm not going to say he's a contrivance, but we all know that he has been helped by a million different things that Josh Allen doesn't quite have. When Cam Newton says game manager and looks at Tua, it's because he doesn't play or look like Josh Allen. He's not calling Josh Allen a game manager. That's never going to be the insult there. And that quarterback last year, I watched a game where he came down here and lost, and all Miami did the entire game was backpedal. The Bills had the ball for 40-some-odd minutes, and what we were relying on in Miami is they're on the sideline where the sun shines brighter. Can they get tired if Josh Allen's arm just gets fatigued because of the sun?
Didn't he throw 77 times in that game?
Yes, that's 777, and the Dolphins won the game.
The last play was into the ground because he just had nothing else.
He couldn't. It was a noodle. He had nothing. It was the same throw that Tyrod Taylor made on the 2-point conversion to Saquon Barkley.
You know, Josh Allen only has 2 more turnovers than Tua, and the difference between them is Tua has a superhuman ability to not lose his fumbles.
Tua's got 15 fumbles this year.
I mean, that's
15 fumbles, but he hasn't lost but 4 or 5 of them.
Oh, I know. Number 4 seed loss.
I can feel the panic, not from Dan, but from Dolphin fans this week. This is look, the Dolphins have had a great season, and it seems to be kind of falling apart right now. No. I'm going to pivot back the other way. No, I'm going to pivot back the other way. This has been a fun year. I just want to say that. Can we just say, regardless of what happens, this has been the most fun season of my Dolphin life, and there's nothing that's going to change that. Even if we lose, I will be disappointed. I will still feel good about where we're headed. I can feel my voice shaking right now
Loser talk, because
I'm such a loser.
You know it's
I'm
loser
scared
talk.
of these Bills,
Yes,
and I still want to say that I had fun this season.
Had fun, please. You know what's fun? Winning. You know what's fun? Beating the Bills. You know what's fun? Going into Baltimore and winning. That's fun. Not, hey, we had a really nice season. Oh my god,
it was nice though.
Okay, but we also had Ryan Tannehill for so
Thank you, Jeremy.
long. No, I'm entertained for the first time in my entire life. Like I've never had an entertaining Miami Dolphins team. The most I had was Mike Wallace, and I had Jay Cutler to Devontae Parker, and you know,
2015.
when I was a
I remember that
child,
season.
I had the Wildcat of Ronnie
Jeremy
Brown and Ricky Williams.
Right now.
I'm entertained for the first time in my life. And if they lose this weekend and it turns into having to go to Kansas City and then they lose in Kansas City, like it's going to be a major disappointment of a year, and I won't have the same mentality. But for the first time in my life, I've just like genuinely wanted to tune in to every Dolphins game.
I'm going to take this a step even further.
Oh, geez.
This right now, this moment, as I sit here with you all fine folks, this is the best time in South Florida sports history. Right now.
Right now.
Nope, it wasn't 6 months ago.
Yes, it was.
Right now.
When the Heat and the Panthers were in the playoffs, you're like, this is the best sports year of all time.
Not only that, Marlins swept the Brewers.
You remember that? And also, all
the League's Cup. Don't forget the League's Cup.
That's what, folks. I'm telling you, we're still in it.
You have two folks.
It's still a ride.
My point is, I'm still right from what I said 6 months ago. This right here, this 6-8 month stretch, we're in it. Enjoy it. This is fun. Dolphin fans, relax.
Yeah.
Relax. The Aaron Rodgers thing, I shouldn't be quoting him right now. I'm sorry. Relax, Dolphins fans. We are fine.
Yeah, relax and make tons of excuses because you're apparently the only injured team in the NFL. You guys are even putting Tyreek's house on the injury report.
Forget the noise and pressure around fitness at New Year's. Start in a way that works for you. New Year's is right around the corner. You know what your resolution is going to be? I want to lose weight. I want to get ready for the beach. Get my beach bod on. Well, guess what? Everyone has the exact same resolution. And when you head to the gym, you're build from there. And now, Peloton Entertainment keeps you moving. Watch your favorite TV shows and live sports as you ride. Perfect for those days when you don't want to miss a thing. Get started with Peloton's New Year offers. Head to onepeloton.com/deals. Terms apply.
Don Le Batard. All of us who were watching college football elevated everything the weekend was because we missed football in general so very much.
You didn't watch the ending of UTEP Jacksonville State. It was awesome.
A dizzy.
Stugatz. It's such a lane for you. Just everything in college football is awesome. Any single thing that happens, she gets deliriously happy about.
Don't you miss viewing sports through that prism, though? Like, I'm envious of Lucy. Like, I wish that I could still be happy.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz.
That was hard to watch yesterday. Tyreek Hill with his wife standing outside a home in flames. Chris Cody is obviously the son of Greg Cody. Somebody writes in, it's legitimately difficult to hear Greg Cody talk about the Dolphins. The excuses are absurd. Chris Cody's not wrong when he says that this is an exciting time in South Florida sports. Many of you were asleep last night when exciting Duncan Robinson most improved player in the league stuff happened.
It was incredible, Dan. That fourth quarter from Duncan Robinson. It's on my top 5 list of things you missed from the Miami Heat last night while you were asleep because they played at 10 p.m.
We will get to that in just a second. Thank you, Jeremy. Always eager.
X Factor
Always
in
eager,
retirement.
Jeremy Taché, there for you. We haven't had this kind
of... us actually getting to it is now plus 300 live odds. It had to happen there for you, kid.
Well, we haven't had this kind of eager around here since Chris Whittingham.
Welcome
missed this kind
to the NFL Divisional Playoffs in 2024.
We're sleeping during that.
Regular season of Madden 2020.
In the wonderful tumult that was 6 months ago, is we borrowed the FAU basketball team for a while. We were so lightheaded down here with winning and fun, and Tony's right. You don't go into this game unless you've been beaten down by the last 2 decades saying, oh, what a fun season it was, because you're just guarding against. This is going to hurt, isn't it? This is going to, the country's going to be laughing about, oh, they were right about them being a fraud, because they're a 3-point underdog at home because the money thinks Buffalo's better. I think Buffalo's better. I think Miami can win, but they're injured and they're going to need turnovers to do it. And I have no confidence from the last time they played that Vic Fangio has any secrets for Josh Allen, because it goes beyond the last game. Fangio's never had any answers for Josh Allen, and now he's got a really hurt defense that does not have a pass rush. And I don't like the Dolphin chances, and I have expectations for this season. I've seen some of the builds already for us sending 30 people to the Super Bowl in a month because we thought that Dallas victory meant something.
Fangio didn't have answers for Ken
Dalvin Cook signed with the Ravens for this 1 week.
Letting go of Ken Dorsey, the offense has gotten into a nicer rhythm and found an identity that isn't so dependent
Kansas
on
City
Josh Allen, even though he touches the
boat
ball
raced
when he's
49-24.
So go the Buffalo Bills.
The stat I gave yesterday, Josh Allen has as many rushing touchdowns as Tua has fumbles.
That's right.
That's 15.
Wow.
That's correct. He's hard to stop, and their defense is really
And we're
banged
the
up.
home team.
And while I believe Jamar Chase gave one of the great compliments a player can give in that sport when he's trying to insult the Chiefs, And he says, they're going to double me and stuff. They can't stop me. It's not like they have a Jalen Ramsey. You don't see a lot of that from players as elite as Jamar Chase. They got Jalen Ramsey
lost, so we would play the Cowboys again in the conference championship
Pro Bowler
game.
Jalen Ramsey. It's a bit ridiculous, but he's a Pro Bowler.
One of 6 Pro Bowlers the Dolphins have for this game. Like this, you understand, right? I was talking yesterday, and Jeremy, we will get, because that game was good last night. We will get to what it is that you have on the Heat and all of your eagerness. But you guys do understand that a Dolphin team, that Greg Cody and his son represent this fan base. So does Chris Cody's mother, who doesn't trust them at all and is tired of being hurt by this team. This team never wins this game. This team has been dying in December this entire century. They did it last year. They started 8-3, and it all fell apart. This year is better. This year comes with more expectations. This year you have an unprecedented wide receiver. You have your quarterback at value. And you got a bunch of players. Kansas City has won the division 8 straight years with everyone in the division drafting to beat them. You got players to beat Buffalo. You got players for win now to beat Buffalo. Win right now while Tua's cheap, while Jalen Ramsey is at the end of that mercenary champion career. They need something opposite Howard. You know what else we're going to do? We're going to pay Chubb a bunch of money because we need pass rushers. We need athletic guys on the edges. Why? Because Josh Allen's hard to bring down. Because we need to get to him quickly. We need to cause recklessness. The whole thing is built for this game. The whole thing. Chris Greer, McDaniel saying when they came to him with Tyreek Hill, give them everything because I need somebody better than Diggs. Everything in this division for 20 years has been falling at the feet of the Patriots. And as soon as they died, the Buffalo Bills, 17 years, no playoffs, rise into that spot. And in 1 year, Miami closed the gap. But I don't think they're as good. And now they're injured too. But they got a home game. And what's that supposed to mean in December? It's not in the cold. It's not anymore Thurman Thomas running over Tom Olivadotti on the sideline because Chris Cody thinks the coordinator should be on the field.
A slight update to that take, if you want it. I found a guy in the booth that I approve of, and it's Dan Quinn. If you're going to be up there, you stand. That's the take. If you're going to be up there, you stand, put your hat on backwards, put a pencil in your ear.
That's what I think about the back row. You should be standing right now, which is why I always stand. Because if I'm in the back row, I'm standing.
66 degrees come game time on Sunday night. Just saying.
Can I give a little more perspective? I feel like we're panicking. All right, I'll stand. We're panicking. We're panicking a little
here. Do you have a pencil that you can put behind your ear? So what you guys are saying, what Tony's alleging and what you're alleging is the coordinator looks like he's more coordinatey when he's standing in the booth with a pencil in his ear. You respect what he's doing strategically a little bit more.
It's a power move.
A little perspective here. This is Dan Quinn right now every game. He's like, come on, let's go. Give me the phone. Where's the phone? Micah, get to the quarterback. This is a terrible bit I'm doing. Here's my perspective. Tua played 17 games this year. I mean, people wanted him to retire. He's about to start 17 games.
I talked to a doctor who wanted to press murder charges.
That guy was a kook. And I know kooks, Dan. That guy was a kook.
Wow. Consecutive passes for both quarterbacks.
Tua is alive. Amazing.
Jiu-jitsu works, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. Sorry to tell you.
Video, can you do me the favor of us finding the video of me breaking into programming on Sunday night, a late Sunday night somewhere, to talk to this doctor who did say that the Dolphins, somebody should press murder charges on the Dolphins because of what happened with Tua.
We've tried to hide that video.
It's been scrubbed.
I'd like to find that. I woke up on Sunday, I had to go to my computer after midnight on Sunday. It was so important. We all lost our minds. Now we can't even stay awake till midnight to watch the Heat beat LeBron James. And that one had to hurt LeBron because even Bayless came out of the shadows and said, look at who you lost to. You're 17 and 18 and you lost to Duncan Robinson, who looks like a high school algebra teacher. Say what you mean, Bayless. Say what you mean.
It was a great game. The Miami Heat defense showed up. I've got 3 OLIs before we get to our top 5 of what you missed in last night's game. So the first OLI, not LeBron. He didn't really show up. 12 points. There we go. He had 12 points in last night's game, which was a season low. Really stopped by the likes of Jaime Jaquez Jr., Niko Jovic. The Heat defense was great, and it was really fun watching those teams play against each other.
Chris Cody, what did you whisper in my ear?
Probably could just skip the OLIs and get to the top 5.
OLI, not Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, or Haywood Highsmith.
Well, he's too much of a homer. He's too much of a homer.
All 8 players scored in double figures for the Miami Heat last night. All 8 players who played significant minutes. So
I saw a tweet that summarized it nicely where they put up those 8 players and what their stat lines were, and somebody just said, LeBron lost to this bullshit.
It was amazing. It was really crazy to think that lineup that went out there without Jimmy. Number 5, Kyle Lowry, continuing to play pretty great.
Are you sure about that? Because
he's been really good for the Heat. He's played 30 of their 34 games. He's been a steadying point guard for them, and in games like that, where you don't have Jimmy Butler, you don't have Caleb Martin to be able to go get his own bucket, Kyle's really led the charge, and they scored a lot on the fast break last night. So he was really important. He had 4 steals and 6 assists. Hold on a second,
Eager Jeremy, because you've lost the room here. Like, even Mike Ryan,
Well, especially Mike Ryan.
We haven't gotten to the top 5 yet.
No, I know.
He did get to 5.
That was number 5.
That was? I saw that LeBron didn't speak to the media. Was that on there?
I said not LeBron.
No, all not LeBron ones. That's it.
You wonder why it was plus 300.
Hey, guys, this is a good list.
Plus 300, by the way.
Somebody have enthusiasm with me, please.
Let my boy cook.
Number 4, Duncan Robinson's 11 points in the 4th quarter.
He's going to win most improved player, isn't he?
It's really remarkable. I mean, his ability to have such a versatile offensive game now. And look, he hit 3 threes in the 4th, and that was a big part of it. But on a game where he was struggling to shoot, he was able to do so much more for the Heat. He had a couple assists early in the 4th, and then after he finally saw one go through, he became their whole offense.
Well, but the difference is, okay, it's one thing to watch that game, and you got no Jimmy Butler, and they do have LeBron, and then you see AD outplaying Bam. But when Duncan Robinson is not just shooting over AD's legitimate defensive player of the year type of empirical data.
I was a yard short.
If you're offensively sluggish, the way the Heat were last night because they're outmanned, it's not
it was no man's land.
Shots over Anthony Davis. The thing that makes him the most improved player is all that he's doing at the rim and has been doing for 2 years. And that's stunning to watch from a player who's been in the league long enough that you don't expect the jumps of improvement to look like that. It's a testament to me, honest to God, as LeBron is scoring 12 there. Look, he's had the career. He's validated everything that he thought, and he's going to be able to create a Hollywood empire that owns a basketball team. So there is no failure there. It's been mesmerizing to watch him. But it does, when I see nights like last night, make me understand why Pat Riley was so unholy pissed off that he wasn't allowed to build around that for 10 years, because he thought he could do this. Like, you have to understand the level of insult. This is far and away as crazy angry as I have ever seen Pat Riley about anything, and it was for months. And it was the humiliation, the embarrassment, the shame of having to fly across the country and show your championship trophies to LeBron and his guys, and they won't turn off the television. They won't turn off the World Cup games. They've got their feet on the table because they've realized they don't need him anymore. And they didn't. They won 1 without him.
2. The bubble and the 1 in Cleveland.
My bad.
Yeah. So, but I do think that looking back on what happened back then, and we'll get back to your top 5 in a second, is every talking head in the nation was like, yeah, this is time to leave Miami. But Wade's knees are in bad shape. They're all their rotational pieces are getting older. Get away from there. Like, no one could extend Pat Riley, a great Hall of Fame executive, any credit to kind of figure it out as long as he had prime LeBron around him. Mind you, he's made the NBA Finals twice without LeBron. It was kind of ridiculous in hindsight.
Pat Riley has had the same success with multiple franchises that LeBron has had with multiple franchises, just more of it. And with or without LeBron.
Ooh.
Now, LeBron can make the argument, and I've done it without Pat Riley, and he has. You corrected the forgotten bubble championship where he beat Miami, and that had to be, if Cleveland didn't make his legacy golden forever on, I was right. I chose you can give me 6 or 7 championships. It's probably not going to feel however I felt going back to Cleveland and winning. And then my late career, what do? I'm amazing at this age in Los Angeles for the golden franchise in the league. But last night, he's the oldest player in the league, and what devoured him were young people.
Yeah, it was all the young people on the Heat that they've been developing from nowhere, too. Like, it's all these undrafted players, and they were without 2 of them last night who would have been sort of perfect complements to a LeBron-led team in 3-and-D guys and Caleb Martin and Haywood Highsmith. But it was really impressive to see what Duncan did. And when you saw the Heat defense last night holding the Lakers to 96 points, the scores around the league last night, the Pacers beat the Bucks 142 to 130.
That was such a
the
fun
Hawks
game.
won 141 to 138. And the Jazz beat the Pistons 154 to 148. The Lakers scored 96 points. That's what the Heat defense did.
Mike Ryan, now you've done it. Look, we've got 40 seconds left in the
I can get to the top 3. I can.
Do it as fast as you can.
Let's go Heat chants at the Crypto.com Arena. 11 road wins for the Miami Heat. Number 2, the UCLA duo, laughing at the Los Angeles Lakers. Jaime Jaquez Jr., who was picked 1 pick after the Lakers' first-round pick. And number 1, Niko Jovic. He's good, Dan. He's good. He's really good.
It looks good they got to play him.
Weren't you sleeping?
Defensive coordinator back.
Yeah, I didn't want
Didn't you say the only game you lost yesterday gambling was Lakers money line?
That's right.
Don Lebatard.
David Sampson, weirdo. Because he was not the fun substitute teacher who'd wheel out a TV and play a VHS tape of Armageddon in science class. He was the weird one who would eat an egg salad sandwich while clipping his toenails into the trash can and ranting about Ronald Reagan.
Stugats.
The guy kept talking about how his ass was smooth. Smoother than a newborn's cheek. He wouldn't stop bragging about his bare buttocks to me.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugats.
I'm getting criticized more these days than I ever have in my career, and I've been criticized plenty. You grow up a sports columnist in an age where people used to get so angry they'd write letters. They'd go and put a stamp on something, write a letter, and send it in to your bosses to complain about how awful you are. And this criticism, I think, is fair, and many of them are fair. But I get this one a lot. Dan really needs to drop the Bill Polian said Lamar Jackson should be a wide receiver thing. It's been 6 years, Dano. Let it go. I would never let that go. That's amazing. That's amazing that we know so little about the quarterback position that a 6-time executive of the year, that rarely is a sentence that great in sport. To just distill it all. Hey, 2-time MVP at the age of 26. Nobody wanted him as a quarterback, and the 6-time executive of the year thought they should all look like Peyton Manning. It's an amazing sentence.
It was 6 years, but 2 of those years were like heavy COVID years where everything was very cloudy and muddled. So I feel like it's really only been like 4 years.
Right, and during those COVID years, race was solved.
And also, you don't know what kind of wide receiver Lamar Jackson could have been.
A great one.
Yeah. He could have been an all-timer. Could have been an all-timer.
I will say again, because the reason I bring this up is just I've got Mike Ryan has University of Miami quarterback information. Jessica and Jeremy are very eager to make fun of Mike Ryan about losing to Rutgers in a bowl game and evidently Miami losing out, possibly, reportedly, on some of their quarterback selections, although I suspect Mike will have some corrections there. But when we talk about the position, the play I was talking about yesterday with Jamel and Pablo, and I was asking, nobody was as amazed by it as I was, okay? Zay Flowers was wide open running down the right sideline. I don't know exactly how that happened. I didn't know whether it was broken coverage or not. What I did not see is that Lamar Jackson dropped back to pass and looked very much like a left-handed passer. He had his back to Zay Flowers, so if he was trying to move coverage, he did it by turning into a left-handed quarterback who then swung his shoulders to the right and threw the ball right-handed because he's right-handed. I've never seen it done before. I don't know
Ah,
if it's why
went
Zay
backwards.
Flowers got open. I was just amazed that no one caught it. I didn't see it. No one talked about it during the game, and a quarterback got a guy open in a league where everyone's scoring 20 points because they can't have the 70-yard plays by pretending he was left-handed and convincing me as he dropped back to be like, wait a minute, is this AI? I'm kind of fooled as I'm seeing this. I asked Jeremy, am I getting butt cracked here? Because he looked so natural as a left-handed quarterback. I thought Sports Illustrated had doctored the footage.
When I had watched the play so many times, just because you see the highlight packages run and you see Lamar Jackson all over Twitter, and I hadn't even processed really what it was he was doing, because I thought, like, oh, maybe it was supposed to be a designed rollout, and then he decided to go back the other way, and then you actually see it from, like, the all-22 angle, and that's actually what happened, is dropping back with his left hand looking like he's going to throw, doing the drop back with the proper footwork to be a lefty.
He looked like Tua.
It was crazy.
For a moment, I forgot he was right-handed. Like, for a moment, I didn't understand what it is that I was seeing because I don't expect a quarterback to have enough time or comfort back there to drop back. Man, look how fast the Dolphins are throwing the football to make sure they're not wasting any time. And this guy is going to play the sport where he drops back left-handed. And I don't know if that fools anybody, but Zay Flowers was wide open.
It did seem to fool the safeties a little bit, which in hindsight, what are we doing there? Like, make him throw it.
There is also a blitz to that side where he's dropping back lefty. There's a blitzer that's coming on, gets picked up, but then he automatically switches and throws.
Did they not notice it as the game was going on? Was this not something that anybody, like, was Orlovsky, did anyone break it down in detailed fashion? Or is this, am I the idiot for not having seen it so very much? And, you know, in that division, if that team loses, it's going to be because Myles Garrett is going to be running in his face if he goes left-handed. I'm not sure that I've seen that kind of comfort, confidence, and grace with what's supposed to be a violent position that's going to get him hurt. And now the University of Miami is in the quarterback game. Mike Ryan has information that people want. Cam Ward, I saw reports that he had declared for the NFL draft. I assume that that meant that the University of Miami was not getting Cam Ward. KJ Jefferson, I saw, Jeremy was very happy about
Go
this.
Knights.
Yeah, his Central Florida team.
UCF, Dan.
Jessica, thank you. Jessica, you just made a face. Are you as annoyed by his UCF as everyone else is around here?
Dan, the problem is he's so earnest and he's so genuinely excited.
I am.
It's so annoying.
Just because I'm happy sometimes?
Yes.
Exactly.
Join us.
It's
Jeremy.
weird how likable Lucy's happy is and how
it's sexist.
Unlikable your earnest is.
Finally.
Lucy, she cries on the field. She cried. She set a record number of cries on the national championship field. And I think it's contagious because everyone's like, wow, loving sports like that is pretty cool. Jeremy loves them like that, and we judge him.
Ah, fuck.
I cried watching Michigan win, too.
Let this be a lesson that if you cheat, you get rewarded. There's no punitive measures whatsoever. Go ahead and cheat. It's good for you.
Transition. Tell us about Miami, Mike.
Miami, excuse me, $5. I'll pay that. I know people have been saying fine and not paying, and I will be better in the new year.
No one is
I
paying.
think Samson owes us like 15 from yesterday.
$5. I'm getting over something. Probably COVID. We're good. Anyways, so you did see a 4-second video of Cam Ward in the living room saying that he's declaring for the NFL. What you didn't see, and what no one's seen, is him sign with an agent. So he's still very much in play, and there is dialogue between Miami and Cam Ward. Cam Ward decided to declare for the NFL. It was really NFL or Miami. Throughout the entire process, there were flirtations with other schools, but if Miami was going to lose him, they were going to lose him to the NFL. There are people in Cam Ward's camp that were giving him some advice that doesn't match up with some of the personnel people and what they're telling me. And I think there's pretty strong evidence in that he only got a Shrine Game invite, that his NFL prospects aren't so great. He's like a day 3 guy. And a lot of people recently have benefited by coming back to school. So I think that there's a realization there. And Mario Cristobal, as you showed with Jeremiah Smith, does not hear a damn bell. Like, until you put pen to paper and you either sign your letter of intent or sign with an agent, it doesn't matter what you say. Mario Cristobal is still going to come after you with a lot of tenacity.
That bell rang on Jeremiah Smith, correct?
He signed his letter of intent.
That's over. All of that is over.
Yeah, I heard some crazy stuff with Jeremiah. So he went as far as to have a graphic made of him flipping to the University of Miami. There are details of him on the phone with Cam Ward talking about that. Miami got very close to getting Jeremiah Smith. Right now, Miami is back in. Now, take this with a grain of salt. They're close on Cam Ward. They've been.
I was trying to lob it and I didn't press the high button.
Almost certain that Cam Ward was coming. In fact, on early signing day, there was a brief moment there where we were pretty convinced that Cam Ward and Jeremiah Smith were coming to Miami. But Cam Ward is still plan A without a really plausible plan B. There are a couple names out there. I personally can get excited because I've been crunching film on these guys, but they're not names anywhere near what Cam Ward's name brings. And Cam Ward, for all the headaches that this recruitment might have caused, for all the concerns in terms of how this has gone about.
What does that mean, by the way? There are people inside who know what you're talking about.
There's just certain things. Anytime you get into a recruitment that will inevitably end in a lucrative NIL deal.
And a deal in this case where the move by Cam Ward is to create leverage in the situation. This is a new business economy where a quarterback can make it unknown whether he's going pro or to multiple schools. That move is not, it's not just procedural, it's to create options, right?
It's to create options, and I thought that he was never going to have more leverage than he had on early signing day, because the math that everybody was doing, the math that everyone was certain was on early signing day, after Jeremiah Smith does a thing where he announces he's going to Ohio State, but 7 hours pass and he hasn't actually gone to Ohio State.
Damn it.
The math being done there was Cam Ward in this moment equals Jeremiah Smith. So Miami was pressing really hard. And I didn't think that he would have more leverage than he had in that moment. And for a while, it was true. But after that video came out, talks picked back up again between Miami and Cam Ward. Now, usually you have very recent history with other schools that go in on recruitments that are heavy with NIL, and some people might say, well, that's a bit of a red flag. I will say that Cam Ward, 1 year of eligibility, and how I pacify myself, because I've done the rationalization, especially when he was seemingly lost, that maybe this isn't, such a terrible thing. No. He's got 1 year of eligibility. He presents a clear and obvious upgrade at the position. Anyone that has seen Cam Ward, their record be damned, because it was a miracle that they had as many wins this past year as they had. They know that he's a really good college quarterback. So hopefully for the University of Miami, Mario Cristobal continues to display that tenacity and they get the deal done.
Mike, when you talk about leverage with Cam Ward being as high as it was possibly on early signing day with Jeremiah Smith in the balance, did he just drop the bag there? Because he's looking at saying, okay, if I go pro, then I'm going to do something, because he was given a second or third round grade from his people.
I don't know the details, and keep in mind, NIL is a tricky thing. Like you can come to terms on NIL after you commit to a school. So I will also be very careful, even though this is all pretty transparent on what other quarterbacks are. The market is now pretty much Cam Ward.
I lost momentum when I threw that pick.
They would have told you that they valued Will Howard.
What was that sound? What was that?
That came from me, because I remember being told that I was pick of the litter between Will Howard and Cam Ward. And then I saw reports that said the backup option was KJ Jefferson, and it'd be between Miami, UCF, and TCU. I texted Jess and I said, I need this to go UCF's way like I need air to breathe. Right. And then guess what happened?
It did.
It went UCF's way. And guess who still doesn't have a quarterback? Right. The University of Miami.
Okay, so on the KJ Jefferson thing, I set you down 2 weeks ago and I told you it's totally made up.
It was off the air.
But yeah, no, there's just a leverage play. Miami's not actually interested.
That was a real conversation between human beings.
But and then the Cam Ward thing. Cam Ward went to Pete. So there have been several deadlines that Miami has instituted that have come and gone and haven't really meant anything. And one of those deadlines happened the day that Cam Ward decided to declare via the internet that he was going pro. He goes to Pete Thamel, and he tries his leverage play. He mentions Auburn and then the pros, and then Miami plays a game where they go to the very same reporter, and they mention KJ Jefferson and Malachi, the USC quarterback, and then seconds later, KJ Jefferson commits to UCF. It was all posturing by Miami.
And a great 15 minutes on Twitter.
Yeah, and it turned into an optics out, kind of like the BOGO, totally self-inflicted. KJ Jefferson was just kind of talked about. But if they did anything there, it was merely kick the tires. It wasn't a serious thing.
Get to the 1 yard line with Cam Ward and then get a holding call, and then get to the 1 yard line and another holding call. But that wouldn't happen to UM because they had UCF transfer Matt Lee as their center.
I think where I net out on this is I want Miami to lose football games, and I just want to stop hearing about UCF.
This is part of the problem that's happening here, and it's a very real tension because Jeremy was having this conversation ad nauseum with Mike in front of people, and Mike Ryan looked at him dead serious, not joking. I never think about you at all, is what he said. I never think about you at all. The poison's real.
He will when we win the Big 12 and they don't win the ACC for the 20th straight year.
Some people take the straight path in life. But at Arizona State University, we respect your twists and turns. They make our online students more driven to excel in their professional lives. That's why our personalized suite of services empowers you with innovative resources and staff that sticks with you. Make your next turn with one of our 300-plus programs at ASU, a top 10 university for online bachelor's programs. Tap to learn more or visit us at asuonline.asu.edu.
You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Come on, guys, really?
Some people take the straight path in life. But at Arizona State University, we respect your twists and turns. They make our online students more driven to excel in their professional lives. That's why our personalized suite of services empowers you with innovative resources and staff that sticks with you. Make your next turn with one of our 300-plus programs at ASU, #1 in innovation for 9 consecutive years. Visit us at asuonline.asu.edu to learn more.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Levitard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
Is the greatest sins you ever uttered.
To be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's prize that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now,
Did to me, asshole.
Marching Man to Nowhere, Fatface, and the Habitual Liar.
This show is getting and has gotten over the last couple of years a lot of accusations of brain rotting, and since the pandemic we cannot be listened to because it's a woke echo chamber of double extra steroid wokeness, and everyone agrees with everyone else, and then the young people come in here and they're even extra more woke than the way too woke, liba woke, and I think some of it's fair. And the evidence I have for some of the accusations being fair now in retrospect, as I look in a mirror and I don't like what looks back at me, is how I reacted to Tua's injury. And looking back, okay, looking back, in my concern and care for people, this may be slightly too liberal, like brain injuries seem real, and soon thereafter we would see a player die on the field. So I can be scared again this Sunday in a way that makes me totally horrified by football. But Tua has played a complete season of really strategically, mathematically smart football by an organization protecting an investment, which is throw everything in 1 nanosecond. And if you do that, you're not going to get hit that much, and the rest of your team is going to get injured because look at what they're doing out there on Sundays. Everyone's going to get injured, but you're not going to get injured because we're going to do it the Tom Brady way. Just throw everything real fast. But all of us remember how we felt in our stomach when Monday Night Football Buffalo goes off the air and you're like, where'd that game go? What just happened? What? Damar Hamlin, we all learned the name together. And we all know that right before that, we felt something with Tua because he's adorable, because you root for him, because we care about the quarterbacks in that sport. When his body starts spasming, we were all horrified by that when it felt like seizure symptoms. So I ran in my kitchen to an emergency Zoom, and Chris Nowinski was ready for it. He's been ready all his life for that moment. He was expecting that midnight call. Look at him. He's wearing a sports coat in his kitchen after midnight.
And you're not.
Con calzoncillo.
No, you think so?
You.
Yeah, yo estoy con calzoncillos. Do you think he's in his underwear as well?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
What is this still shot we chose for you here?
It is the one in my kitchen, and it's an emergency. The face is of earnest panic.
I'm about to say gladiator spectacles so hard.
Yes, that's right. I woke. I ran from my bedroom in my underwear, threw on my finest baseball cap and shirt, and I ran toward the chronicling.
Oh my God! Why is this happening today?
At one time, I would have been in the press box in the Coliseum, being horrified by what was happening, but also paid for by what was happening.
Picked a spot with great lighting.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
It was set up for me, yes, because for just that emergency, we built a media company around that emergency. We're a news gathering information source. Get me somebody who's going to show the proper concern. Then, of course, Chris Nowinski comes on and says there should be murder charges against the Dolphins if he dies. Your language here, I would say, is incendiary. You are saying things more extreme than most when you write on Twitter, you guys should go to jail for letting him play 5 days after an obvious concussion you covered up. If he dies from second impact syndrome, I'm pushing for murder charges.
Mind you, after that, a player actually did die on the field.
I didn't see him break in there.
You
from
didn't
Dan.
break into that.
Yeah.
You know, Elijah Moore did seize on the field last Thursday. No special bonus show there.
You're like the Jorge Sedano of concussions.
Oh, you've got to be fucking serious. Why am I losing to Tom Brady again?
Incredibly inside reference.
Elaborate, please.
Yeah, I don't know what that means
I know
at all.
nobody got it, so now I will explain it. But he was very pleased with it. But at least his timing was perfect, talking at exactly the same time I was. Thursday, Chris, ladies and gentlemen. Pair him with back row Jess, and I've got a real nightmare on my hand. Jorge Sedano.
I know what he's talking about now.
Yeah, now you do, yes. When Rudy Gobert touched all the microphones and then America and the world got COVID, Jorge Sedano threatened to suspend Rudy Gobert. Now, keep in mind, at the beginning, and he can be a Hispanic hothead. He gets emotional, and if you think I overreact, he can overreact. I want to remind you guys, he has since walked this back because we mocked him. But initially, that was an indefinite suspension. And then when we mocked him, he's like, okay, 1 game. But that's not how he came out of the box, and that's not how I got out of bed in my underwear to talk to Chris Nowinski either.
Did you see the thank you card that the Timberwolves gave Rudy Gobert? Do we have that? All right, so yeah, it's up on the screen right now. Can you zoom in to COVID Schmovid? Yeah. Thanks.
Hell yeah. I have so many questions about the person who wrote this.
COVID
I really do.
Schmovid. And that was actually in a group chat, posted in a group chat that I'm in with George Sedano, and he said, suspend him again.
Well, it's amazing because he bought all of the Target Center ushers $50 gift cards, or gave them $50, which, you know, $50. But
it's a nice gift.
Really, really nice. I know.
How many people?
You know,
ushers in an arena?
Well, you could see by how many signatures are on the card. Probably about, I don't know, 60.
Let me see that picture. I'll count them.
But nonetheless, they wrote this really nice thank you card. It says, thank you, Rudy, from everyone at the Target Center. And you've got all these different signatures. And then, of course, COVID Schmovid thanks. And so my question is,
7, 8, 9, 10.
Does this person feel one way
In the
about
zone.
COVID? COVID didn't really exist. COVID Schmovid. Thanks, Rudy.
I don't know. I don't know the political statement.
Is it the flip side? Which is, you know what, Rudy? We were mad at you about COVID, but you know what now? You gave me $50. COVID Schmovid. It's fine. Thanks.
It's a work of art. You can't tell what that person really thinks, but they got you with the jab of just making it rhyme with a nonsensical word.
Looks like 47 people he gave it to. By my math, that's $23.50 he spent. All right, that's fine.
Oh my God.
Is the math right there? Did you do it right?
47 times 50?
I think you did do it right.
Yeah, I mean, I used my calculator.
So Jeremy thinks we should do more than that? Rudy Gobert, like shaming somebody for giving?
I heard some other people. I heard some people in the other room. This is me blaming again, but I heard some people in the other room questioning, you know, if you've got a 5-year, $205 million contract,
you could do like all the other players and not give the usher $23,000.
Yeah, you could.
$2,300.
$2,300.
$2,300.
Tax write-off. David Sams.
100 schmundred.
You mentioned Chris Whittingham earlier. Can we laugh at him for a second? He posted, and if you don't know him, you're an idiot. Okay, you should know him.
I don't think that.
If you don't know him, you're an idiot.
I was going to set up who he is, but
or
I feel
you're
like
new to the program, and thank you for your support.
Or that, yeah. That would have been better.
He's the better version of me.
Right.
Schmitty.
So Whitty is now a soccer person, and what he says in this clip, I don't know what.
He's always been a soccer person.
I don't know what show this is. I don't know what he's talking about.
I believe this is Sirius XM.
He does not know how to wear a hat. He's very famously hates hats. This must have been haircut day. He says he only wears hats on haircut day. This must have been a haircut day. So here's a clip of him talking soccer and just not knowing how to wear a hat.
The biggest problem with the Glazer ownership over these last 10 years since Sir Alex Ferguson has left is that they basically wanted to replace Sir Alex, when I think that's a relic of the past. I don't think the one man...
Where did that come from?
I just sold third base.
Why is it?
I just sold third. I don't know what's happening there.
Laid down a bunt, hit and run.
It was on the brim touch.
For me, in a 10-second clip, you get 1 or 2 hat adjustments. And by my math, there's 9 or 10 here.
Okay,
Let's play this again.
hold on.
No, he's giving the swing away.
For the audio audience, what begins is
You've
the
got to be
hat
fucking
is
serious. How am I
sitting
losing to
atop
Tom Brady again?
coiffed, oiled hair at the beginning of the clip. And then he spends, with his right hand, the remainder of the time talking.
Is it coiffed or coiffed?
Readjusting his hat at a rate that shows great insecurity and bodily soothing, and seems like almost sarcastic or caricature. He is so uncomfortable. It's the same way that he would touch the top of his skull if a beehive had suddenly exploded on top of his head. It's weird how much insecurity is showing there.
At one point, he's just pressing on the hat. Like, the first few are adjustments, and then it just becomes, please stay down on here.
I just swung on a 3-0.
I've done this before where you put too much hair gel in your hair before putting on the hat, and it is really uncomfortable. So I think he's trying to, like, break up what's going on with the hair gel and kind of mix things up so that way he's nice and comfortable. But if I adjusted a hat that many times in a row, it would just be, I mean, it would just be so uncomfortable.
Haircut day.
I counted 13 hat fidgets there.
Oh, no, we can count more than that. Let's count through these. We can count through these together here.
13 hat fidgets and 47 ushers at the target.
It's 1, 2,
Bruh, what the fuck?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In a 7-second.
I want to double where when he squeezed it twice.
Yeah,
I
when he
counted twice.
squeezed it twice, that's one motion, so it's confusing. 12.5.
In the middle of it, he squeezed his own skull twice, the way you guys squeeze avocado when you're checking to see if it has
Gotta do it
rotted.
softly though sometimes, because sometimes you squeeze a little too hard and it explodes.
Yeah. That kid well on his way to calling a World Cup in a couple of years, I'm telling you.
His career has taken off since the moment he said he wouldn't want Jim Gray's career because he was sitting in the back of a row at the Clevelander where he was hitting his knees on a crowded wooden thing.
Oh, that thing was the worst.
Top of entertainment.
What are we doing to Whitty here? Come on. We don't talk about him for months, and then we just bring this up to make
I
fun
said it
of
to
him
his
touching
face. I was
hat.
texting him. I was like, "What are you doing here?"
At least
he's
we're not
like,
calling him a murderer.
He goes, "I stand by it. You've never fidgeted a hat whilst wearing it." I was like, "All right, why are you?"
He did.
Never mind. He deserves it. I can't with this guy.
He owes a ton of punishments, and he is
Show
not.
in a bathtub.
He's
Where's
got to do the
bathtub?
show from a bathtub. We need to remind. Whitty thinks he's escaped this, and he is. But Mike, he's climbing too high in the industry, and soon he will forget what is owed here. He doesn't owe us anything in terms of gratitude. That kid was going to be a star when he was 13 years old. But he owes us a bathtub punishment. He's got to do a show from a bathtub whilst in a bathtub.
Don't worry. Billy rules with an iron fist, so we'll make sure that happens.
What happened to the costumes this week? What happened? I thought that there was. I thought
New Year's, Dan. Come on.
New year, new me, Dan. No more costumes for me.
What do you mean? We still.
I paid off one extra punishment.
Costume schmostume.
Forget the noise and pressure around fitness at New Year's. Start in a way that works for you. New Year's is right around the corner. You know what your resolution is going to be? I want to lose weight. I want to get ready for the beach. Get my beach bod on. Well, guess what? Everyone has the exact same resolution. And when you head to the gym, you're going to be waiting 6 hours for one machine. This new year, Peloton's making it easier to get started with up to $600 off select Peloton purchases and 2 months free membership. Peloton helps you start no matter what level you're at. Wherever you're starting, there's thousands of classes to get you moving. Whether that's the beginners or advanced rides, feel-good live DJ rides, or even artist-themed rides, they've got you covered. Peloton bike instructors keep you motivated from day one. They'll take the guesswork out of your workout, show you the basics, and help you build from there. And now, Peloton Entertainment keeps you moving. Watch your favorite TV shows and live sports as you ride. Perfect for those days when you don't want to miss a thing. Get started with Peloton's New Year offers. Head to onepeloton.com/deals. Terms apply.
Don Le Batard.
God doesn't even know what this list
But
is.
he was ahead of Tom Brady, who also won a playoff game.
A couple, yeah. That was literally the most confusing list we've ever done.
But Tebow's got a better shot of coming back.
Give him a chance. He's got one list.
I'm mad.
I'm
angry.
I want to leave.
Stugats.
This would have been your day. This should be. You should own the sports media landscape right now.
I am. Top 7 guys. I would not want the Jets.
No. You.
No.
No. I'm not allowing it.
Give him a chance, guys.
Number 1.
No, I'm not giving him a chance. I'm giving him 20 years.
Carson Wentz.
I've given him my prime.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
If you've been with us this long, this far, felt some of the shit the last 2 years that has engulfed my life, you know that I've had no shortage of bad feelings over the last 2 years. But I enter this segment right now feeling and reeling from
Oh my God, why can I not throw the fucking ball today?
personally. I don't know what the answer to this is for the rest of you. But for me, I'm coming out of, in the break, what I believe to be one of the worst things that I can feel, which is the following. I'm not lying about something, but people I care about think I'm lying about something. And I've only felt it twice at this company in 2 years. Once is right around Freedom, when I was walking my dog in a video, and I did clean up his shit after I turned off the video, but nobody believes me. Nobody believes me because in the video I didn't clean up the shit, so they think that I just leave dog shit all over Miami. The only other time I felt that is right now during the break, because I came out of the bathroom preoccupied with my own thoughts, and I forgot to put a toilet seat down that was up when I got there. And when I opened the door to the bathroom, Jessica and Mike Ryan are looking at me. And I realize in that moment of shame, oh man, I haven't washed my hands. So I had remembered I've got to go back and put the toilet seat down. But first I got to wash my hands because they think I'm that kind of gross. And they think they caught me as the culprit that continues to leave the toilet seat up around here. And I am not that culprit. I forgot this time, but I am not that culprit. And the problem is, they don't believe me, and I'm stuck in a situation, Tony, where it doesn't matter how I defend this, I'm gonna sound defensive, and to me, it's one of the worst feelings in the world, to not be lying, and that people who know you think you're lying. They don't believe you.
I love when I leave the bathroom and nobody's there, because I don't have any judgment of anything. But when somebody's out there, I do feel a little worried. Even though I've checked all the boxes, I've cleaned the pee off the toilet seat, or I put it up, or I put it down, or I wash my hands, I feel like everybody's just judging you when you walk out of the bathroom. Like, I judge Chris anytime he
It was vulnerable. It was vulnerable to open the door, and I'm in my own thoughts, and I know I haven't washed my, I know I've forgotten something else, and I haven't washed my hands, but I'm telling you guys, I am not the culprit who keeps leaving that toilet seat up. I am not. I do not do it at home.
Oh, it's me. I leave the toilet seat up all the time.
What?
I leave it up all the time.
You too?
Yeah, me too, of course.
See, Dan, you kind of backed into something else you admitted there. Like, you were really focused on the toilet seat, but all I heard there is you putting your junk germs on the door.
Yeah, regardless of your intention, I'm quick to judge that your process is all wrong. You don't go door first. Who goes door first in that sequence?
Are you fucking serious?
Piss-handed. You had opened the door before washing your hands or lowering the seat. Who does that? How am I supposed to believe this?
Fair.
Wait,
future defense?
The seat was up, and then you put it down?
No, the seat was up, and I didn't put it down. The seat was up when I walked in.
Yeah, because you clearly followed Tony.
No, I haven't gone to the bathroom yet today.
Animal.
I've never wiped down a seat as much as I do at these bathrooms.
100%.
Because you guys have me so scared.
Thank you.
Even when I don't make any mess, I get a piece of toilet paper, I wipe down the entire seat, and just in case there's like one single drop.
That's very courteous.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you.
No.
I want to shake your hand.
I have felt bad
I didn't wash my hands.
for Jessica, for Lucy, for Kristen, for Hildy, for Cynthia, all because we share 2 bathrooms, and we are hyena. I think that's the plural of hyenas. Is it singular? Hyena? Whatever. The people around here have not learned very basic things. So I have felt
Only
bad
Cubans.
for the women around here. But Jessica specifically, it wasn't even Mike's shame, even though Mike was pointing straight at me. Last time I had seen someone point like that is my mother and my father one time ended up at a topless, at a nude beach. And my mother didn't trust my father to go in there and be any kind of normal human being. And she turned around at one point and there was a woman there who didn't have a shirt on and he was just pointing straight at her chest. And that's how Mike Ryan pointed at me because he caught me penis-handed on I'm the toilet seat culprit. I am not the person who has left that bathroom a mess. You don't believe me. I don't blame you for not believing me. Do you guys agree with me, though, that it's one of the worst feelings in the world not to be caught in a lie? I think it's worse to not be lying and feel like people aren't going to believe you than to actually be caught in a lie.
It's worse to go into the bathroom and have to put the seat down yourself. That is the worst feeling. And then to sit on the seat and get
4 touchdowns. I can come
Tony's
back.
piss splatter on your butt cheek.
First off,
I mean, it is just foul.
First off, I do not pee with the thing down. Number 1. Number 2,
Which thing?
when I put the toilet seat, I do not pee with the toilet seat down. I always put it up with my foot.
And then you leave it up.
And then I leave it up for the guy behind me, right?
There are women that
Sure.
work in this establishment.
And other guys who might want the seat down.
It's just
Jeremy, you have the seat
not
down?
hard.
You pee with the seat down?
It's not.
That's not the
It's not
point.
Sometimes
Secondarily, I clean whatever is outside of the toilet seat. Whatever's on the toilet lid, I take it and I clean it.
cleaned so much pee that isn't mine.
So have I.
Agreed.
Here's the other thing.
Same.
Here's the other thing. Now we have caught Dan dick-handed. Tony's admitted to it. I've caught another person here leaving the seat
You haven't
up.
caught me dick-handed.
Whoa.
That's 3 people now that I know for a fact have left the seat up.
It's just a courteous thing. It shows that you respect your coworker.
I respect my coworkers in other ways.
I am sorry, Jessica, and I also still,
Name them.
I'm going to have this on me all weekend because it's that, I remember how I felt after Freedom. I'm like, no one believes me because why would they believe that I would turn the video off and then go back up and clean the
Well,
dog?
it's just a shitty excuse.
Jeremy Lee.
Shut up, dude.
We don't respect you.
Wow, that escalated quickly. Well,
I leave it up to have Jeremy pee with sitting down. That's what I do.
man.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jeremy. That was so
That got
heavy-handed.
really personal.
but he's-
Everyone really doesn't like me here, huh?
He speaks for all of us. So moving back to what it is that I wanted to get to, because Chris Cody has over his right shoulder a listener sent us something that I'm very excited about. I did not know. The printed word is dying. I don't know who sent this, but it made me smile as soon as I saw you open it. Greg Cody's column, Trading Dan Marino, is now in the corner of that room, haunting Chris Cody. That column, can you stand up? Can you read some of that
Please
column?
don't have me read.
I'd like for you.
Please read aloud for the class.
I would like for you to read if you can see, because the type is
I'm gonna grab it.
Is very large.
This is like an eye exam.
Yes, that's okay. You're going to grab it, yes, and read from that column. We head into the biggest Dolphin game around here in at least 6 or 7 days. And Greg Cody wrote the most famous Dolphin column ever written. After writing this column, he appeared out front in front of the Herald building, and his voice was modulated and his face was distorted because they were trying to protect him. At the time, that's the only
Yes, ma'am.
sports person in town we had who basically ever mattered. And Greg Cody traded him. Jessica, what are you laughing about? Do you want to
Are
eat
you
some
so
of
you
this,
got
or you
a
just want to put
you got
pressure on Chris while
a
he's
nightstand?
I asked if there are any big words we needed to practice, and he said,
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's just hear. This is Greg
Okay.
Cody, Dolphin historian, trading the greatest player in the history of the Miami Dolphins because the Dolphins had Scott Mitchell.
Why'd you move to look at me better? Trade Dan Marino. Keep Scott Mitchell there. That's what the unspeakable looks like in print.
Okay.
It may be time to start thinking about it. Much too early to let the idea set in cement, obviously. But not to wait. But not to weigh the increasingly... God damn it, man. See, like, the word starts here, and then it's a dash, and it finishes on the other side.
newspaper column.
But not to weigh... Mitchell... 30-10 Dolphins route.
Only down 17, 21 points. And I got a quarter to go. I can come back from this. It's my own mistakes. Fucking hell. I wanted to have one of my better games in the playoffs. It's like every time I play Tom Brady and the fucking Buccaneers, I find ways to fucking lose. That shit is annoying. I'm not a better quarterback. I just don't. Gabagoo. Gabagoo. Staples. That was easy. Jabagoo, jabagoo. I can barely touch the damn thing. Oi. Oi. Yahoo, 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 yahoo. Alright. Calm down. Let's get this. Make this comeback. Make this comeback. We got 6 minutes to go. Oof.
All right, we got the gist.
All right.
I actually want to read this.
So do I. Jessica, you go ahead and take it.
Kansas City.
Jessica, you go ahead and take it, and you show people how it is that you don't climb in this business.
He is so actively rooting against Jess, right?
It's the actual size of a newspaper.
I'm also terrible at reading on air, but that's besides the point.
Well, it's a lot of pressure.
He stung a good defense for 22 of 33 passes for 344 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, making it 2.5 very good games in 2.5 games since stepping in for Marino. I felt even before Sunday's Mitchell extravaganza, trust me, that Miami will face a monumental decision after this season. Sunday utterly convinced me. Just maybe, there will be no reversing the gears. Fate set in motion that day at Cleveland Stadium. Imagine it, number 13 has thrown his last pass for the Dolphins.
She reads good.
Yeah, pretty good. This is what I want to do around here, because I've got to tell you guys, I don't know if you've realized it, the media environment is shrinking and getting crushed. Stephen A. Smith is obviously planning his exit at ESPN. He's 18 months from a contract.
At the very least, planning leverage.
Right, well, planning the ability. He's got his contract comes up in 18 months, and he's saying to people, I'm a bigger star than anyone on the Knicks. He says, and it's a damn shame, he says. And it's not a damn shame. He's a bigger star than all of the people on the Knicks. Not most of them, all of them. Stephen A. Smith is more famous than Jalen Brunson. He's more famous than anyone who presently plays for the Knicks. And you're in the middle of McAfee fighting the machine or dealing with the machine. He's going to have a choice to make about Aaron Rodgers, his friend who he pays. That's going to be a difficult choice for his fan base to stomach if he can't protect Aaron Rodgers from Bob Iger and has to get rid of Aaron Rodgers for some way. In the middle of that media climate, a shaky, shaky media climate, there are a ton of people who want to work at Meadowlark Media. Like, from here to Jacksonville, most of them can read.
It's my job.
And one of the things that's been noticed by the people in the other room is there are opportunities here. Miami media is kind of crumbling. The local television reporter makes $50,000 a year. It's like, media's in trouble. It's been eaten up by Wall Street. And we've got a media company. And we've got people outside our doors who work for us, who want at the microphones and want at the opportunities. And one of them is John Reed, who got a taste last week of the applause from our audience. John Reed was a hero last week because he got in hot water in Iowa for violating federal air regulations.
Allegedly, Dan.
John Reed has produced a country song and wants a budget at the Super Bowl to go to a rodeo and become a country music star. He has produced a video for our show because he wants to be a star. Why are you laughing, Tony? Why are you laughing?
Oh my God! I just got the preview in the video.
All right,
it's so good.
Well, I asked. I've got a break here. Okay.
You have to do it here. We have Adnan and Samson, so you have to do it here.
I want. Okay. I've got to do it here.
Got to do it here.
Let's get to this video of John Reed. He's applying for the budget to make a song at the Super Bowl because Meadowlark Media, for some reason, is sending 30 people to the Super Bowl, and John Reed believes this is his star turn. Let's see what he's got.
Viva Las Vegas, here we come. Hey, 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 who? Is that Dan? Is that Stu? Is that Mike, Ryan, Billy, Gil, Chris, and Greg, too? Is that Juju? Out in Vegas. Oh boy, is that Roy? Is that Roy? Talking hockey at the bar. Look, you done took it too far. Out in Vegas, Roy to the penalty box. Viva Las Vegas. Hey, 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 who? Is that Jessica too? Is that Luke? Is that Lucy the Foot Girls crew? I'm just playing, I'm just saying touche, touche. Out in Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas all night long. Viva, Viva, Viva Las Vegas all night long. Hey, hey, oh, it's a party, it's a party, it's a parlay. It's a party, it's a party, it's a parlay. It's a party, it's a party, it's a parlay all night long.
Hey, 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 who?
To reserve your tickets, go to circuitlasvegas.com/stadium-swim/Dan-Levitard-show.
Come on! I am warning you right now, we are about to ruin Saltburn, the movie Saltburn. If you have not seen it, you need to just skip past this segment. I'm warning you now because otherwise you're going to get mad, really mad at everyone on this show. Saltburn, if you want to watch it and do not want it spoiled, you must fast forward through this now. Don't be an asshole.
Dan Levitard.
We got Afrini Hardaway.
Afrini? Who is Afrini Hardaway?
I was trying to read fast. UD was on the team. Luke Jackson, Bobby Jones, The Matrix, Shawn Marion.
Stugats.
Zoe. Afrini Hardaway.
Afrini? Who is Afrini Hardaway?
I was trying to read fast. UD was on the team. Luke Jackson.
Now, don't be an asshole.
Dan Levitard.
We got Afrini Hardaway.
Afrini? Who is Afrini Hardaway?
I was trying to read fast. UD was on the team. Luke Jackson, Bobby Jones, The Matrix, Shawn Marion.
Stugats.
Zoe, Shaq, Smush Parker.
Are you fucking
D
serious?
Wade,
Wait a minute.
Jason Williams, they're all right. I mean,
What?
stacked roster.
This is the Dan Levitard show with the Stugats.
Hello, David.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Adnan.
What's up, Mike? How we doing, man?
We're doing well. Basking in the glow of Saltburn. Liking it even more after our conversation.
You and Sam's, we need to reenact that scene in the tub.
That's not like, it's on the metal Sam, but it's not the most shocking scene in that movie.
What?
No.
That was a fumble?
I think the humping of a dirt pile.
Yeah,
Man.
hey, whoa.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers. No
Spoiler
spoilers.
alert here. Big Saltburn
I haven't seen
audience.
it yet.
Sorry.
Dan, give us a count in.
No, we've already started. I want to talk about Saltburn.
No, you can't give that. That's a big spoiler. That's a big spoiler.
We've already talked about. Put a spoiler alert.
Pumped a dirt pile?
Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's a pretty shocking scene.
All right, let's do this. Put on the front of this episode, wherever it needs to be put on the screen right now. Spoiler alerts all over the place, even though we have started.
You already spoiled.
That's all right. You spoiled it.
I was just bantering back and forth before we went on the air.
Well, this is Saltburn is the name of the movie. I've wanted to see it, and I stopped because Wesley Morris wrote in the New York Times, Saltburn is the sort of embarrassment you'll put up with for 75 minutes, but not for 127.
Okay, 3 touchdowns into the third quarter.
With its petty shocks to rile anything you'd recognize as genuine excitement.
Agreed.
It's a
Way to go, Wesley Morris. Way to go, Wesley Morris.
It's
That's
a,
good stuff.
It's a scathing.
So did I, David.
Dan, did you hear that? Samson said he loved it. That's ridiculous.
I'm Team Samson on this one. I think I kind of loved it too.
All right, before we get to it, though, because I want you guys to bicker about a movie that is modern, Promising Young Woman is the reason that people are excited about this movie. It's the next effort, correct, since Promising Young Woman. And the Wesley Morris review has made me he kills it. He just crushes the movie again and again and for a number of different reasons. But go ahead, Ednan, please.
Yeah, I can follow to what Wesley Morris is saying, Dan. It's a poor man's talented movie.
Yes!
I mean, this is just...
You read that on Google, Adnan.
No, that's it. Samson's exactly what is true. This movie is meant to shock and offend and has no actual substance or soul to it. It's trying so hard, and I'll agree with Mike. It's audacious, and it's certainly bold, and it's unforgettable. I mean, there's several scenes. Thank God I'm a vampire. I mean, there's scenes that are going to stay in my memory, but not for the right reason. It's just lewd and vulgar and, quite frankly, indecent, and nothing personal. I'm shocked that you loved it.
David, hold on a second. Before you give us your critique, this is also coming from Wesley Morris. The whole movie seems to exist for its coda and presumably the prosthetics designer whose name appears in the closing credits. It's another music video fantasia, but so cynical, literal-minded, and literally cheeky that I cringed my way through it.
That's great.
200 yards.
So you listened to that reviewer because you've seen him review other movies that you've watched and you agree with his takes?
I would say to you that I was interested in watching this movie, and then that takedown was so scathing that I just sort of put it in the queue. I'm like, I'll get to it, I'll get around to it, but it was scathing enough that I respect this person's opinion that I don't need to watch it right now.
That's a lot of power to give to a reviewer.
He's a good reviewer.
No, Wesley Morris is a smart guy, Dan. Listen, if we can spoil a little bit further, there's a scene where Barry Coggin's in love with a character, okay? He sees him masturbating in a hot tub. And then when the character leaves the hot tub, there's a close-up slurping the tub water, which he's masturbating. So, Dan, you don't want to see this movie.
That's a big spoiler. Part of this film's experience is the shock value that this segment is totally neutering, by the way. And I do respect Wesley Morris's movie opinions, and I respect Adnan's, and I think that it's a totally accurate take. I would not think you less than if you stood up watching this in a movie theater and walked out. This is a very audacious film. It's probably why I liked it. Hyper-stylized. I thought the performances in such a surreal environment were super believable. Really good performances in this film. I love the way that it was made. Maybe it was made specifically for me. No, not that I'm a fiend, but I left college around the same time that these young people are leaving college. So everything from the music to the fashion was for such a
even a long drive to the
my
left.
Life that
500 more
I
yards.
saw a lot of that era in this film. I thought it was shocking in a good sense, kind of the way that I haven't been shocked by a film like that since The Lighthouse. And I really, the more I talk about it, the more people have these strong opinions about it, I realize that the filmmaker did something right. And I like it more because of it.
Have you ever looked down into a drain? Like really looked into it and see what's there?
Let my boy cook.
It's not pretty.
Thank you, Tony.
Prude.
David?
Yeah, I'd like to explain that the point of the movie, without spoiling it, is that there's a lot of people who think they want someone else's life and that the grass is greener, and people think that having money or not having money is really the impetus for how you get through life.
Damn it.
This movie does a great job with what will be nominated performances, several of them, in a script that also could be nominated because it's that good. And what people are complaining about is shocking. If you want plain vanilla, then go see a Disney movie. Go see an ordinary movie that just exists. But if you want to actually be intrigued intellectually and stimulated, both intellectually and for some people physically, maybe.
Stimulated is the right word, and perhaps titillated. I'll push back. And several performances are not going to be nominated for Oscars. Maybe one. Rosamund Pike, supporting actress, is excellent, and maybe the script. The script is a good chance.
You're not giving Barry Keoghan deserves a
And
nod.
she's not getting nominated, Mike. I'll tell you right now. The best actor nominees, I'll give it to you right now. Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Leo for Killers of the Flower Moon, Jeffrey Wright, A Hope American Fiction, Coleman Domingo for Rustin.
Why does this keep fucking happening?
Potentially, and then after that, there's a bit of a gray area.
Adnan, you just said you guaranteed the nominations.
Please, defense, do something, because for some reason I can't stop this
It's
man.
not going to be Barry Coggin. I'll tell you, I'll put $1,000. It's not Barry Coggin right now. There's no way he doesn't get nominated.
It's not
Well,
a
that's
perfect.
not his name, so he definitely won't be nominated. You're right.
It's not a perfect like eat the rich story that I think everybody wanted it to be. I think that's where it maybe came up a little bit short. Like it sort of hints at some of that, but if you just want to be entertained, and that's what I want out of a movie a lot of the time. Like it made me think just enough. It had incredible performances. I mean, you mentioned Rosamund Pike. There were a couple of like monologues from her that were hilarious and wonderful, and the script was perfectly woven together with that. And it did make you question. The only issue that I had is the end almost like ties everything together a little too well, maybe, and gives you everything. I wish I would have been left wondering a little bit more, but I was blown away by those scenes and how well they were acted. And if you're really looking,
Damn it!
Yes, obviously some of those things push the envelope a little far into obsession, but that's the point of the movie. It's all fantastical. It's all very camp, and I love a camp movie.
And
there's no reason not
a
to
guy
enjoy
goes
it.
down on a woman while she's
What?
under period.
Whoa. Hold on. But these shocking cinematic moments are actually strangely beautiful to look at because the cinematography is so on point. Like this film is a spectacle. There's a reason why the word of mouth around this movie, memeability, is carrying it
Thank
through
you.
a popularity that is still ascending, by the way, and is only going to get helped by segments like this. I think you have to watch this movie. I think it's a must-see film this year.
Two other nominees, by the way, Henry Coggin, because Samson made fun of me. Giamatti for The Holdovers, which I know you also loved, and Bradley Cooper for Maestro. Coggin's not getting nominated. There you go.
Keegan.
So now you're at 6.
It's fine.
So
6. I'll give you one more. All of Us Strangers. Andrew Scott. He's excellent.
There's only
7.
5.
That's 7 nominations. I know. So I'm telling you, that's how far down Barry Keoghan is. You said guaranteed there's several nominations. He's not getting nominated. He's 8th on the list at best.
Well, that's because they're wrong, because he was spectacular.
He's
was
become
so good.
With this performance, he kind of sealed it with Banshees, which is why I wanted to see
Banshees
this.
of
And the
Inisherin.
filmmaker in the trailer captured me right away, from the music to the way that it was shot to the art direction to the graphics that they overlaid on it. Barry Keoghan is now a must-watch actor for me. Anything that he does, I'm all in on his choices.
We're in on Banshees and that feckin' donkey, no matter what Stan Van Gundy says.
All right, Adnan Virk, this is a part that Chris Cody knows this side of Adnan Virk better. Anyone who listens to Cinephile knows this part of Adnan Virk. He's dirty. Look, he's dirty. The sex stuff, he gets appalled by it. No, listen, you're dirty.
Adnan?
You once said it well, Dan. You said for a man who's so polished, there's an undercurrent of pervert.
I mean, and it's not so much.
That's a horrible way to describe yourself.
It's not so much an undercurrent.
That's why I'm shocked you didn't like it.
You should love it.
It's an undertow, and you can get swept out to sea in it because he loves gratuitously breaking free of the MLB Network shackles and describing, well, a film has given me permission to utter the phrase, go down on a woman while...
Honestly, I'm so mad at this segment because part of this experience is the
Ah.
shock value. And to be shocked in this day and age, when they shoot things on film that even the most warped minds couldn't even conceive.
They're showing boobs during the Sugar Bowl.
Jessica, you took off your headset at some point during this segment because you don't want it spoiled. I want on the front end of this, okay, video and audio, large, loud spoiler warnings. I'm not interested in ruining this movie for people when the shock value is part of the appeal, okay? So put on all the warnings because we started a segment while you guys were just talking. But Jessica, I've lost you in a segment that was meant to connect with today's movies because these guys are always talking about goddamn Caddyshack.
No, this is my fault, Dan, because believe it or not, I was going to watch Saltburn last night because Mike texted me and told me we were going to talk about it. And then I turned on a David Suchet Poirot from 2001, Five Little Pigs. It was excellent. So that's on me. Watched a 30-year-old television movie instead. My bad.
But you took off your headsets because you don't want this spoiled. And how much spoiling are we doing? And we've only got 90 seconds left here, Samson. How much spoiling are we doing when we're talking about the rarest of things now in movie going? A movie shocks you.
I'd rather you not go to a movie and look for a scene and wait for it, because part of this movie is not knowing when the next most unbelievable thing is going to happen, and you're watching characters descend into madness, and if you know where it ends, then it doesn't matter where it starts, and that's the problem with spoiling this.
Okay, Cinephile, where Adnan Virk plays to his perversions. I've seen this. No, yeah, you laugh, but you did this with the Basset Hound. You used the movies as cover to be extra dirty, and
Do you really think this is going to get a bigger audience here? This is what we're looking for, where he plays to his perversion.
Glad we did an entire segment on this, because I do think it is a seminal film. I think
so good.
In retrospect, when we look back on it, it'll speak to a generation, and it is that important that people watch.
There's definitely some seminal going on in this movie.
I knew that was going to happen. He took the root of Seminole and he made it semen, because he's dirty Adnan Virk. He can't help himself. It's disgusting. Get out of here. Cinephile is where you can check out his
Too long of a drive.
You are getting crushed by the room here. You hated this movie and everyone else here likes it.
Wesley Morris and me, we stand united. Go see American Fiction instead. Read the screenplay. I have it here as well.
Showing your free stuff. Disgusting.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Genuinely love that movie. So disappointed by this.
I like it even more now after.
Yeah, I'm digging my heels in.
It does make one dig one's heels when you dislike a movie, but it's rubbish.
Have a great day, everybody. See ya.
At Arizona State University, we offer a wide variety of degree
Thank you.
programs online to match all kinds of interests and career aspirations. Programs that are taught by the same notable faculty who teach on campus and designed using innovative technology to improve learning outcomes and equip you for post-graduation
Panther 60,
success.
Panther
That's why
60.
87% of ASU online graduates indicated they were promoted at work or received an increase in salary after earning their degree. Find your program at asuonline.asu.edu.
Boy, that was a dumb decision.
You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Damn, dude.
T-Mobile 5G home internet can leave you with slower speeds during its busiest hours. Why deal with that? Switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours. Visit cox.com/5G home to learn more.
This is the Dan Levator Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
Got a score, so.
I did a poor job of managing the clocks earlier because I was headed out to Taylor in the other room, but we got sort of distracted by John Reed's song, which all of you were mocking when it started, but now I have heard you start singing during the breaks. John Reed just said that he is willing, in exchange for the $10,000 budget, to do something at a rodeo that is a music video at Las Vegas, that he's got to go and rework his song because he forgot his favorite shipping container member, he said. There's no Tony in that song that Chris Cody was wandering around singing during the break. And John Reed wants his star turn. What I was telling you,
yes.
It's been hard to build this company. You've seen that Hollywood was shaking over the last couple of years, but it's about to take off, right? We're gonna make a bunch of movies, and we're gonna have a bunch of stuff that makes us a media company that people are going to want to be working for. And Taylor's here and moved his life like Carl has moved his life, and Jessica and Lucy have moved their life to create a career, to create an opportunity. Mike made a musical at the start of this, and John Reed is like, I've made a music video, and now I want to be a country star. And if I can just get out of that hot water I had in Iowa with the company, maybe I could parlay this into something that is a music career.
Made a comeback.
You guys laugh at it, but when I tell you the following, because you've been singing this song too, and there are others, we've got listeners who make songs for our show, and they're very good. Yeti Blanc sees an opportunity here with the Cody Show and everything else, make great songs in his spare time, just fooling around, because it's fun, because who wouldn't want to do that for a living? Russell Clay writes the
Damn, I got thrown like a damn chicken basket.
Most total yards for a rookie wide receiver all time. Number 7, Randy Moss. Number 6, Odell Beckham.
His quarterback is not named Tua.
It's a cheap
Shit.
line, and it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, it's not his quarterback.
It made it.
glad
It
you
made
said
the whole
that.
song.
Why are you glad that I said
I
that?
was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it.
It's a cheap line, but it's a catchy song, so you allow it. The thing that I wanted to say about
It's like the
this,
defense in Madden has gotten worse.
fast in that sport. You react to the reaction, and the Lions' offensive coordinator is now going to get Belichick money, $15 million a year, because look at what he did with Jared Goff. But before McDaniel and before Shanahan, there was this McVay guy who Belichick kind of undressed in the Super Bowl, but he had Goff, and he's like, get out of here. That was a mistake. And now what you have with Stafford is something that's going to be real confusing to your grandchildren, which is the crossroads of when the systems took over. And Stafford is responsible for Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. That's 3 of the best seasons ever. It's not because Stafford's the best quarterback ever. It's because the first guy at this McDaniel, Shanahan buffet was this coach with this system who said, wait, Goff's okay, but Stafford's better. And now watch what I do. I'm going to make Puka Nacua better than Randy Moss.
Forced him to kick a field goal, so I'm at the last possession.
Like, get out of here. In my lifetime, there will not be better than Randy Moss's rookie season when he was just faster than everybody and you could throw him jump balls. But sure as shit, this guy numerically is better, and it's not because I think he's a better athlete than Randy Moss or a better wide receiver. It's because he also has the groundbreaking system.
We think of Matthew Stafford as kind of over the hill because he's been injured a lot the last couple of years after the Super Bowl, but he's making throws this season that are insane. Yes, Cooper Kupp is excellent. Yes, Puka Nacua is a rising star, but Stafford's throwing balls off his back foot, fading away, 45
and
yards
no
on
one
a
wants
dot.
to play them, and
He's
he could
incredible
and
right
he
now.
could be MVP of the league. And you're right, you don't even understand how his body has withstood everything that it withstood. But thank you, please, in the other room. Let's put this camera now on Taylor, because I've been remiss in getting
200
to
yards
this. I've
rushing,
been wanting to get
244
to this
franchise
for
record
a
in the
couple of
postseason.
segments, because Taylor, like Fuentes and like some people on Mystery Crate, very eager to get a chance around here, wants a chance, and knows a lot about sports, knows more about sports than some of the other people who are talking a lot at microphone. And he had a very strong opinion earlier today when I said, man, Stephen A. Smith's about to write his own ticket in whatever he wants, from sports stardom or late night stardom. He has leveraged everything perfectly. And in 18 months, because he's already underpaid, Stephen A. Smith is going to be able to either have his own thing outside of ESPN or do whatever the hell he wants at ESPN, making more money than McAfee. And Taylor had strong opinions on Stephen A. Smith, saying that he was more famous than most of the New York Knicks, and that's a damn shame. Taylor's a Knicks fan. I'm not wrong when I say Stephen A. Smith is more famous than
Go to the end
all
zone.
Knicks players. Am I, Taylor?
No, that's
Go to
correct.
the end zone.
The problem with Stephen A. Smith, no self-respecting Knicks fan like Stephen A.
Yes!
Does the whole, he perpetuates
Game winner
that the Knicks
at the gun.
and
Thomas
when you
to
listen to
help
him
them
talk
move
about the
on
Knicks,
to the
you can tell he's
playoffs,
not watching the games,
into the
and that's why I
conference
call him Stephen A.
championship game.
because he's not watching. He just has a producer filling him in on everything, and yeah, it's very clear.
First
he's
throw of the
not
game
watching
to Michael Thomas for the game winner.
on the national stage.
When you express this opinion, Mike Ryan told you, be careful. This guy's got a lot of power, and I can hear the fear in your voice. Why?
I'm mad I gave up 51 to the fucking Buccaneers, man. 48 points. Whew. Finally, I beat Tom Brady. Finally!
Chris is like petting my back.
The Chris Elliott tiny hands, yes. It's a little bit, that's unfair to put him
7
in a fight
picks is
against
not
Stephen A.
fun.
Smith, because what happens around here is, you know what happens?
Whew.
I'm going to get aggravated on saying fake Knicks fan, and then this stuff is going to stick to me, and he's going to come at me on his show and keep building
Those
his
31
platform,
points we gave him
and I'm going to get hit with Levitard calls Stephen A. Smith a fake Knicks fan. You know that's what's going to happen, right?
I will take the bullets for you. Yeah. He said OG Anunoby, the Knicks just traded for him. He said he didn't move the needle or he's not impressed by the move. Stephen A. has to realize that OG Anunoby is the move before the move. And since OG Anunoby's been on the Knicks are 2-0. They're plus 54 in Anunoby's minutes.
He's scared.
You were right there?
There's so much going on around here. Like for the audio audience, I don't even know what's going on. I get dunked on. Then Chris Cody's petting me with little hands. I just want to give Nick's takes.
You've got 90 seconds to do it. I'm giving you the floor. 90 seconds. Try not to sound
Come
scared.
up with another cute little nickname like Stephen A. Spark Notes. That was good.
The Knicks are more athletic.
I think I used everything I have.
That's it? You're out of material already?
That's the worst possible thing that could have happened.
27 points in the fourth
You
quarter.
just quit it.
We're a team that's building. We're a superstar away. Stephen A. Smith just wants to keep pushing the Donovan Mitchell narrative, and then
go ahead, throw him in jail, get him out of here. Look, get him out of here. John Reed is ready for this moment more than you are. John Reed, give me that John Reed song, because he just came to me and John Reed
And
said,
it was
"You watch,
single
they make fun of
coverage.
me." But when I rewrite
Clock
this
was
for Tony,
running.
they're gonna be singing
Clock
this
was running.
by the
3
pools
seconds
in
to go.
Vegas. They're gonna be
Throws
singing,
it
the
up
whole crowd will
to
be.
Thomas, who got behind the defensive back. Who's the defensive back on the play? Who is the defensive back on the play?
Is that Dan? Is that Stu? Is that Mike, Ryan, Billy, Gil, Chris, and Greg too? Is that Juju? Out in Vegas. Oh boy, is that Roy? Is that Roy? Talking hockey at the bar. Look,
Can't see
took
him.
it too far. Out in Vegas.
7 interceptions. Not a fan. 500 yards allowed. Not a fan. Dude, 2 touchdowns, but 267 yards. Negative 21 rushing. Not fun.
Season's greetings, everybody. It is Mike Ryan here to talk to you about Miller Lite, but also here to talk to you about... Could have stopped brewing it twice with hops, but they didn't. They went that extra mile, and they brewed it with hops 3 times. The original light beer since 1975, and still the best one. I'm talking about Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/stand to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories.
I hate the transfer portal because it's basically telling players you don't have to be loyal to a school.
I actually thought you looked kind of good.
You don't have to be loyal to a school, and it's so bad. You know, these kids be signing contracts with college, and they don't even go through the full 4-year contract they sign with them, and it disgusts the hell out of me.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show.
Eh?
Two gods.
Presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code DAN, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
LeBron is not speaking to the media. He does not do that very often. After the Miami Heat drag a game into the mud with all their young people, and let's go Heat chants break out around the Lakers. LeBron, you know, at this point in his career, at any point in his career, grows tired of coaches quickly when there is trouble. And Shams is now reporting deeply disconnected is the phrase Shams is reporting about Darvin Ham and his rotations. LeBron is the oldest player in the league. LeBron is used to being on top of the league and the league's storylines. It's pretty rare for him to not talk to the media. This story coming out at the exact same time as LeBron not talking to the media, when the West is upside down, the Lakers are sub 500, and they're not good enough. He's going to put pressure on the organization again to make whatever changes.
In this case, I've only been doing this for an hour and
he and
45
Anthony Davis
minutes.
can be contenders.
This latest news drop from Shams
Playing the Cowboys.
affords me the opportunity to apologize.
And this time,
to you
it's
in
at home.
because I'm very clearly wrong about something. I wanted to believe in the in-season tournament, but given how little that's bought Darvin Ham, I'm willing to admit maybe it's not that important.
Even furthermore, there may be an IST curse. You win the IST, you have some dissension in the locker room, all of a sudden something happens, the coach is worried more about the IST than he is the actual playoff.
I think you got to wait till at least a second IST.
Jessica, I don't think I've seen that much palpable disgust on your face directed at Tony in the entire history has been here. Like, was there something happening there? Was it that he stumbled on the furthermore, that he was that eager to think of a curse involving the in-season tournament?
I was thinking of a
Okay, he's a star there. Respectable. As a rookie.
Okay.
I thought it was with
I kind of think.
Tony was really hamming it up.
Oh, for the love of God. Go outside.
Just help it. Nobody learned from the toilet because I just went to the bathroom and both seats were up. I like walked in. I was like, which one am I going to go? And I looked right, I looked left, and they're both up. I'm
By
like,
the way,
they're messing with her now.
To be honest, if I walk into one that it's down and the other one's got it up, I'll go to the one that's up.
Well, you don't want to touch anything in there, right?
Correct.
This is all with your foot.
Correct.
So if it's already up, you don't want to be anywhere near someone else's toilet
If it's
seat.
up, then I can go. If it's down, I'm out.
How have we already outgrown this studio? How is that possible? That two bathrooms is not enough.
After Barry Sanders was on the cover of Madden and then he decided to retire, nobody came out the gate saying, well, that's a curse. They had to wait to the second one.
I've never touched a flush with my hand in my entire life. Always use my foot.
Ooh, their offense is struggling. But their defense, though, just as bad as the Saints' defense. Both teams. Wolf. We have more rushing touchdowns. They have fewer giveaways. Both teams bottom 10 in giveaways.
If you're in a fancy hotel, if you're
Their defense is worse than ours.
pristine
They give up a lot of sacks. They don't have a lot of sacks or takeaways. They give up a lot of touchdowns. We gave up 70. Ooh. So this means this could be a great game then. Yes.
To get that stupid lever down if I have to, Dan.
Understood. I don't think a lot of people want
I
to
don't
be
think I can
touching.
even do that, and I bought fancy IG jeans that Joe Rogan threw kicks in.
I need to win so I can go
You
to
can
the
throw some
Super Bowl.
hard-ass kicks,
Play
Dan.
my fucking Pro
I don't
Bowl
want
game.
the problems.
Let me segue from LeBron James aging to
The twerk on the...
Those jeans are loose.
Dude, those hips are open. Yeah.
let me segue as people look for aging tips from Joe Rogan. And
so as soon as I got the jeans, I damn near dislocated my hip
Wow,
trying to throw a kick. I haven't thrown a kick in a while.
How'd the jeans feel, though?
Oh, like they could handle a kick at least 4 times better than I threw.
You're now doing advertising for Joe Rogan.
I didn't mention the jeans.
Wow.
Anyway.
Can you whisper them?
I'm so lost.
This
That was fast. I said the fuck.
I could have gone like a true waist
No,
size, but I
12.
was upsized because I hate the game. Do
You could be a punter in those days.
Video interview for Crumble Cookies, 11:30 in the morning. I'm gonna be up by then anyway.
Above the, yeah, you could grab that with your foot around the toes, pull it down.
I did see the Rockettes recently.
You could use
what a production.
Foot like a hand.
Oh, always. That's how I changed the channel.
You can use your foot as a hand.
Some people would pay very good money for this. I'm just telling you right now. You probably know this.
Some people have a right wing grift pivot in their career. I always have the foot thing to fall back on.
I've had this discussion with my wife.
Dude, like, I swear to God, my wife less than a month ago was like, could we do this?
I think now we're at a point where every 30-something
And
married
Michael
couples
Parsons,
have the discussion, like, if we ever get on hard
And
times,
Prescott. Ooh, he's an
what
X
about
Factor.
those dogs.
Here's the thing about that,
The dogs
okay?
bark.
If you do that, people just don't stumble upon that. You have to go out and prove
Then he
that
breaks
they
his stick
have a
tackles.
link to view feet.
My
And then
wife's
Kenny
like, can I do
McIntyre.
it without anyone knowing it's me? I was like,
Do a little bit different than what I did last time because I mainly ran the ball a lot. But this time around, I can pass a little more often because their defense has struggled against the pass.
Your profit off of foot is you and your dad should do it. I believe you.
My dad?
You and your father should absolutely.
So my wife's cut out of this?
I mean, whatever. However, look, if
you did seriously consider like doing OnlyFans for Stu, where it was just like in jest, but like I think
call it Only Dance.
Everyone would recognize Greg's feet.
Do it
They're
as
too famous.
Do it as an income supplement, and allow me to have the show back to talk about aging of basketball players. Do it. Figure out how to
Have
do.
you had the conversation with Valerie yet?
No.
You guys are doing pretty well.
No, and I can't believe Chris Cody's having that conversation. What are you doing? You're worried about an apocalypse? You're worried about Metal-Arc Media falling into a ditch?
My wife is just, a little tired of her job, so she's like, hey, like, you think this is an option for me? And I can be home a lot.
It'd be nice to have a little supplemental income.
Well, if you don't have to work,
if steak sauce
Well,
is
it's
going
a
to spill like
job.
$300, it's $300.
Who cares, though, if you don't have to go out of your home in order to do it? Who cares about whether someone else knows that your wife is doing that for money? That seems to be
Prove
the
blocking
pride
and
of that or the shame of that. The only thing keeping you from doing it is the fact that people will know that your wife did it.
Right.
But who cares? It's just bare.
I'm gonna tell my wife to do
What's
this.
the shame?
I'm gonna tell me you're right. It's not much.
What's the shame?
The shame is that you know that there's probably people out there diddling themselves.
What if
to your
people
wife's
are like, "Oh, those feet aren't nice. No, she shouldn't have her own." Like,
No, I'm not worried about
talk about my wife's feet.
Let me tell you something. Those in the audience, my wife's feet, very nice.
Oh, mine too.
Very nice.
Delightful.
You will diddle yourself to my wife's feet, no doubt.
What is the shame here? I don't understand. It's why I thought Foot Girls was such a funny thing. In fact, I was
not connected to.
My wife and I have a thing where sometimes when she's sleeping, I'll pick up her foot and answer it like it's a phone. Hello? Boop, boop, boop. Hello?
Ah, it tickles. That's a great fit.
This is your wake-up call. It's cute.
I learned.
I'll take a photo of that. That'll be the first post.
I'm going to reveal too much here. I'm probably going to make
Ooh,
my
I like
wife my wife mad at me.
We'll bleep it.
I love it. Tell me.
Well, I just can't believe it happened the other day. I was shocked by it, by all of what I'm about to express here, and I feel dirty because we shamed the hell out of Rex Ryan here. We really did. We shamed Rex Ryan here. No. What are you doing?
OTP.
What is he doing there?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Rex Ryan didn't deserve that, by the way.
Not even insult me. They didn't cross that.
He's on the right side of history.
He is. Rex Ryan, we shamed him for being a freak when he should not have been shamed this way. But also, what you just did to me, Chris Cody, with your lack of subtlety.
What workplace in America?
No.
It's just, hey, co-founder of company FJ.
Yeah, that's what just happened. That is what just happened.
I'll say it to Skip.
You will not. All right, let's do it.
Nope, not doing that. That was a joke.
No, we're going to do that on air.
Can I say it to myself, me being Skip?
Nope. We're going to do it on air. When John Skipper comes in here, I'm going.
I beg your pardon.
No, you're going to sit across from him, and you are going to ask him that question, and we're going to build a whole company around that.
I do believe that's inappropriate.
Just give him a thumbs down, too.
Going back to using his foot as a hand.
You and your wife.
Not an FJ. The thing that happened with my wife in Los Angeles, and I learned this about my beautiful wife. She comes back from a trip all day around Los Angeles wearing boots. And she comes home at 6 o'clock at night and says, "These feet don't stink." And I'm like, I don't believe you. Like
I've done this.
Oh, Dan got the smell
This
test.
is not possible. This is not. You can't be in leather boots with no socks for 12 hours and tell me that those
Really, guys? No one blocks Ebucom?
didn't smell like anything. I lost the bet. It was
too early in your marriage.
It was. I couldn't believe it though. I was scared of the foot.
Give it a year, it'll smell.
You lost the bet, but you won the foreplay.
You're not stunned by this.
I am.
This was.
I'm gonna have to smell those dogs.
You will not smell my wife.
Hand over the piggies.
Come on.
FJ.
Let's find out which one went to market.
Let's get to that Klay Thompson sound, please, because
what Klay Thompson
transition. I asked Lewis while I was in the penalty box if I missed anything with note taking. Hey, did we talk about anything other than wives' feet? He said, no, we did not.
Well,
great workplace.
We started with LeBron, and we started with
his feet. Wolf. He's got
Yeah, you
bad
haven't
feet.
seen that photo of him walking on the
all
dock.
basketball players give up their feet. You can't do that for a living like that without like wrecking your feet.
Yeah, it's his tools.
Yeah, it's like
Soccer
football players with dislocated fingers.
Toe jam football.
Do you think most people know that? Do you think most people listening to this know that one of the things that LeBron James pays for what it is that he gets is his feet forever will be a mangled mess that will cause him problems, like obviously.
I would trade that for what he has. Mangled feet, yeah, I think I'm.
Because he could wear shoes.
But Klay Thompson was talking about aging here with rare. Oh, you put those feet up on.
It's an action shot on a foot is just always tricky. It's moving.
The three middle ones are holding strong. It's really just the pinky and the big.
It's called a hammer toe, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Why did you do the ladies and gentlemen there?
Over and out.
Over and out is what I thought of there too. I don't. You know what happened? The ladies and gentlemen was he took the show, he had it, he had the spotlight, and he went and offered us something that wasn't useful.
No, it is useful. When a toe is displaced like that, it's called hammer toe. So for those people that need to have an answer for what it is, there it is, hammer toe.
How is that
over
useful? How is that useful?
My Grammy had one of those. Nasty.
What's she charging?
You don't want to see those feet. They've been decomposing for a while.
Oh, a whole new category.
Some people do want to see those feet.
She was cremated.
A whole new category of kink. Grandma's dead feet.
Ew.
Sauce to spend $200 on.
Deep.
Don Le Batard.
Again, started on the breakfast flan.
Oh, man, I've been singing a song to myself all morning long. Breakfast flan.
The hell?
Stugats.
Have you never heard the breakfast flan
No,
song?
hit me with it.
Okay.
Breakfast flan. Breakfast flan. What the hell? Breakfast flan, man.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
Now we got Dalton Schultz. Breaks his stick tackles.
The point I was trying to make before we derailed into a grandmother's skeletal dead feet that were cremated. I was talking about aging and LeBron James being the oldest player in the sport, being impatient. All the competitive young people are coming now, right? Like he's the oldest guy in the sport. He's dominated it for 20 years. He's given his feet to the cause, exceeded every expectation somehow, and Skip Bayless is still chasing.
Oh my God.
Still tweets last night. You're 17 and 18, Bron.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Algebra teacher. That's how it will end for LeBron after being the most relevant at the hardest thing, most competitive thing in sports. Here come the Heat with their young people and the Timberwolves and OKC. And
again, the IST buying him nothing.
Nothing. And they're 17 and 18, and the Warriors are now vulnerable and aging. And what I was going to say to you about Klay Thompson is this part's rare, right? If we can stop for a moment and just celebrate greatness in sports, the Warriors were a dynastic thing. They fought at the top of that with LeBron, and sometimes they won and LeBron won, and they had to do different ownership architecture on how much power players will have. So that Kevin Durant and LeBron James, this could be the hardening of our lifetime in this sport over the last 10 years. Them wrestling for the top of this sport. Klay Thompson now realizes, and this feels like concession to me, okay? I was surprised earlier last week when I said to Amin, yeah, the Warriors are done. And he's like, And I think he was doing that just out of respect for it's really hard to be a champion like that for 10 years. Wait till Draymond gets back. No, they're done. Klay Thompson, they needed him to be the best two-way player in the world in order to win championships, and he's washed. And I don't know what's happened to my algorithm. I don't know if I got Whitlock, but I get so much Klay Thompson information. I get tons and tons of Klay Thompson stuff. I don't know why. More than almost any other athlete. Now, I really like him. I find him quirky. I think he's one of the best shooters I've ever seen. I've admired his game and his, surfer kind of stony way of being around Steph and Draymond and also being great. At one point, he could have been traded for Kevin Love in Minnesota. His career would have gone differently. But he settled into superstardom, Hall of Famer, probably should be a top 75 player. Gets hurt when you tell him he's not a top 75 player. Here's Klay Thompson talking in uncommon terms for a champion, talking to Steve Kerr, also a champion, about yeah, I'm kind of washed at work, and I'm negative about it because I'm super competitive. And here's where I am in life when we're not quite good enough right now.
Well, Steve and I had actually a great conversation yesterday, and that helped me relax a lot. Sometimes I forget just how successful, how lucky I've been to be a part of championship teams and all-star games and gold medals. When you want to get back to that level so badly, you kind of get in your own way. And rather than forcing it, we had a conversation about just enjoying this last chapter of my career and how lucky I truly am to still be playing this game and do it at a high level and being a better mentor for these young guys, leading by example, having my energy right every game. And he helped me realize if I do have negative energy, how that affects the team in a poor manner. So we had a great conversation. That just helped me change my whole mindset and forget about shooting splits or points per game or all-star games, and just to enjoy being in this Warriors uniform and appreciate what we built, because it's such a rare opportunity for any professional athlete to be a part of someone's success and to try and pass that torch to the younger guys and keep this thing going.
He's a great champion. He's a lot younger than LeBron James. LeBron James beat that out of him, trying to keep up with LeBron James. And injury, right? His body betrayed him in a way LeBron's
playing lots of minutes and deep postseason runs, ultimately facing LeBron James. So, yeah, kind of indirectly so. But that was really honest and revealing sound.
It's not only vulnerable and interesting, though. I ask you just for a moment, right? Like, I get it. Sports move fast. You got to have your takes. We're more engaged than we ever are. Criticism is everywhere. Blame is everywhere. This guy is a great champion, fighting LeBron James across this decade for the top of that sport. You know what it is for Charles Barkley to say in a series that involves LeBron James that Klay Thompson is the best two-way player in the world? That's what Klay got, being at the center of that champion. But then money, glory, fame, who gets the touches, makes Draymond Green be what he is right now and punch Jordan Poole in an argument about money because everybody wants to get paid now. And Klay Thompson built an economy in that city with a stadium that makes that organization, quote unquote, light years ahead of everyone else because they've got such a thriving business that's actually at the center of an economy in a city. Klay Thompson
I think he was down.
He wants his money. And sometimes when you're chasing championships, you forget the joy along the path. You punch your teammate because staying up there is hard. It's super competitive. It seems to make Kevin Durant unhappy. He fled that whole thing. It got so hot in that furnace, and I thought winning would be fun forever. How would you not be there and be like, yeah, I'm Kevin Durant. I'll play with Steph. We will dominate. No, too much. Klay fit there. Klay saved them one time against OKC with a third quarter, making shots from half court. But now it's the end, and he knows it. And athletes never look in a mirror like that at 33. Your coach and your organization have to be so strong for you to be the one who doesn't get the money at the end, isn't going to get the minutes, isn't going to get the touches. You're going to be the odd man out in musical chairs. Everyone else there is going to get their payments. You could have gone to the Lakers. You could have played with LeBron. But his body broke. And now at the end, he's like, yeah, why would I bring negative energy in here? This is kind of, he says the last chapter. Hey, what is he, 5 years younger than LeBron? LeBron's 39 and Klay's telling you there, I'm done. Like, I'm going to keep trying, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand the mantle over to Wiggins and whoever else, you know, all these young players on that team. I mean, Wiggins also got paid. Like, everyone got their money. Did Klay get, I know this stuff is silly, right? It's tens of millions of dollars. But Klay's going to lose the musical chairs there, right? The ending for Klay isn't going to be you get your big contract and get to play another 4 years.
It sounds like, in encoding it as the loser there, you're lacking the perspective that I think Klay Thompson showed there, because Klay Thompson won.
Oh, my God.
Ultimate winner. I mean, one of the greatest shooters of all time. Would arguably be called that if he didn't share the same backcourt with the greatest shooter of all time. So he won. He's a historic winner.
He also made $43 million this year.
Yep.
Like he signed a 5-year, $189 million contract.
He got one huge contract there that, I mean, obviously making $43 million this year to, you know, based off what he's saying, essentially in some ways play the role that like Udonis Haslem was playing before he literally played 0 minutes, when Haslem was playing like 8 to 10 minutes a night and mentoring guys. But it'll be interesting to see with Klay Thompson whether or not he's willing to just hang it up because he's no longer getting a huge contract somewhere and just would want to play with the Warriors, or whether he'll try to find new life as a guy that probably
Ravens
gets
in
a
the
veteran's
Super
minimum
Bowl.
or a couple of years at $20 million or something like that with a team that is trying to take that next leap or is always competitive.
Do you ever hear the 33-year-old guy like Cam Newton at the end of his career, obviously different sport, but at the end of his career is still fighting to tell you, no, I can do this for the Patriots. This isn't my body being done. This isn't me spent at 32, 33. Do you get, in the modern age of Tom Brady and LeBron James, isn't one of the things that's refreshing about that vulnerability that he's looking in the mirror and telling you, I don't have much left here?
One of the most interesting comparisons you can make now is actually Kevin Love, who was involved in all of those finals too.
Oh my
He got to a
God.
point with Cleveland where he wasn't playing on that team. He
Wow,
wasn't playing
are
any
you
minutes.
fucking serious?
And he was just sort of the veteran guy who was there adding to those young guys who now have turned themselves into a better team alongside other young players they've added. But he essentially just left Cleveland for nothing and now has had new life, you know, breathed into him with the Miami Heat playing a role there. Klay Thompson may try to do the same sort of thing where he's in this leadership role on a team where now it doesn't make any sense for him to not be playing the same type of role he's been used to, but with a different franchise at some point, maybe he can get a few more years as a role player contributor somewhere else.
Dan, I'm interested to see your thoughts here. Like, if Kerr wasn't his coach, do you think he would be talking this open and honestly about his struggles?
I don't know the answer to that question. I know that Kerr seems to care about these people in a way that extends beyond just employment relationships. He was a player that knows how hard it was to be a champion because he lived all of this with Michael Jordan. I would think that Klay, having grown up some in the sport around Steve Kerr and everything that he is, like grown up, because some of these guys can be overgrown children. If you're that good at shooting, something else is lopsided and hasn't been tended to. They can be kids. And Steve Kerr can be in that role, disciplinarian, teacher, the professional father. You know, I don't know if Mark Jackson was that to those guys before that when he was telling us that they had the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. But I would imagine that Steve Kerr, who doesn't mind DJs at practice, even though he's yelling about T-shirt cannons and noise, Steve Kerr wants a player-friendly atmosphere. I would imagine that Klay Thompson bringing negative energy to work is something that he would notice and then just tell him, hey, like you're super, like I don't need you to be super sad guy. How you helping me? It could be as simple as the perspective that Mike's giving there was like, how about we do joy while we're living joy as opposed to the pressure of the next competition that you have to win that keeps you from joy. Like, how about we accept who we are at this point with some self-awareness in our career?
Yeah, and you saw the type of energy that he brought to the press conference post that conversation with Steve Kerr. So I can
what did he look like before?
Yeah, I can only imagine what negative energy Klay might have been like.
But can you imagine if you've been that great and the other guys that, I mean, Steph's older than him. Like, you're looking around and your body cannot do what it did. LeBron's still out there doing it with gnarled feet and stuff. And Klay has to look at his body, and however he self-identifies for the 30 years of his life that have brought him all the rewards, and be like, oh, this shit betrayed me. This betrays me at the end. This was best two-way player in that league.
What? That was exciting.
And now I've got to live the rest of my life with the grief of who I used to be as an identity. That's a hard shit to like see in a mirror at 33. But Steve Kerr probably lives something similar toward the end of his career next to Jordan. That would be helpful.
Or you can evolve into what Ray Allen was down the stretch. Just be the guy that nails big-time threes and be a role player. I mean, Jason Kidd was one of the greatest point guards ever. Made plenty of contributions towards the end of his career, won a championship. There's a great lane for that, and it's quite rewarding.
You say that, though, but Carmelo didn't want to do it, and he was a lot older than Klay. Klay's young for this conversation.
T-Mobile 5G home internet can leave you with slower speeds during its busiest hours. Why deal with that? Switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours. Visit cox.com/5G home to learn more.
You're listening to DraftKings.
What the fuck? What?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgart's podcast.
Jessica, I feel like
I'm
left out on a trend that I was not aware of. You have come in with one of those giant Stanley Cups, and you are informing me that this is the most popular thing now. There are lines everywhere all over our country. People are outside. Actually, it's not just trying to order by delivery on the internet. They're going to places and forming old-fashioned lines in order to get a cup that I am here to say, even though Flanagan's is not paying me for this, is perhaps the second best cup anywhere to be found.
Almost got it blocked.
Flanagan's has the greatest of all the cups to be found in the universe, and should be insulted by the fact that there aren't lines at Flanagan's to get Flanagan's cups instead of the Stanley Cup that is very big and looks very expensive to me. You're telling me that America's wasting money on cups?
I have so many thoughts on this phenomenon. So yes, first of all, agreed. The Flanagan's Cup, Mike is holding one right now, the best cup ever.
It does sweat a lot.
What? You need to sweat when you're eating the wings or the ribs to kind of like wash it off.
It's an all-purpose cup. The Stanley Cup one can only really drink out of. But somehow, via TikTok and the internet and viral trends, we talked about this last year with Billy and how if you Google Stanley Cup now, this is what you see. You do not see the hockey trophy Stanley Cup. You see this 40-ounce tumbler thing.
Heavy.
That costs like $50.
But
You could do some damage with this
Is
thing.
is it a style and fashion thing? Like people want to be seen holding this cup?
People want to collect different colors of the cup, and only in this style, because this brand has been around for decades, but for some reason it caught on the internet, and now this week the camera is way too zoomed in on me. Please back that up.
Back that
I
ass
did not
up,
get
boy.
enough sleep last night for this kind of level of close-up, but people have been lining up outside of Target to get a special edition Stanley Cup. It's a $50 cup, give or take.
$50?
It's coming out in like these special Target Valentine's Day edition colors that are like hot pink, and it's reselling. I have seen on eBay people reselling the cups that were hard to get this week for like over $200 for a $50 cup that you just drink.
All right, what are we doing?
And it's not even. I like the cup.
It's a damn good
I have
cup.
one of the cups. I will say, it's not. It's no Flanagan's cup. First of all. Second of all, it leaks.
What are we doing? Look,
It's not vacuum sealed.
I don't mean to sound. I'm going to sound like the world's oldest person, not understanding a country that is making popular a $50 cup. I know there are all sorts of forms of the apocalypse encroaching upon us, but really, like, I sound like the world's oldest person, not understanding the popularity of a $50 fashion cup.
I completely agree with you, Dan. I find it baffling because I think, like, the purpose of one of these cups is, like, it's better for the environment to drink out of a reusable cup than to buy plastic or use plastic that is one use, right? The single-use plastic that you can't really recycle.
It'll keep your drink cold for like 2 months.
No, these ones actually, the ice melts. So I also have a ton of Yetis because Yetis are, in my opinion, the best of this kind of like vacuum seal cup thing. And they also don't leak. If you put them upside down with the lid on, water does not come out. These, water comes out, and also the ice melts very quickly. It's also very difficult to clean out the straw. There was someone on TikTok, not with one of these cups specifically, but one of the other very trendy viral cups, who didn't realize that there was like mold growing inside the lid, and she was getting sick because she was just inhaling mold all the time. So you have to clean them very intricately. Whereas the Yeti, it has like 2 parts. You just clean it and that's it. Put it in the dishwasher, whatever. I don't understand this either, Dan. I think it's totally bizarre because, like I was saying, the purpose of like a reusable cup is that it's better for the environment. But now it's become like a collector's item.
You have coffee in there?
Yes, I have so much coffee in there.
All right, well, forgive my ignorance.
It's just becoming one of those like overconsumption things where it's like people are collecting tons of them just to have them, and it's just kind of defeating the purpose of why you would buy a cup like this, to just use it and not buy, like a regular plastic cup.
Mike Ryan, are you looking because she was drinking so vigorously from that cup that has an undertow in it, and she had a lot of coffee? Is it because of the speed and the amount of information? When she gets passionate around these things, she speeds up whether she's having the coffee or not. And I don't still know how you got this one. Did you get it recently? Was it hard? This one was hard to get?
This was just a regular old Stanley Cup. Not one of the special edition collector's items cups. Lehman, because he heard us talking about it on the show a few months ago, got it for me like kind of as a bit, like, haha, look, I got you a Stanley Cup for Christmas. So I've been using it, and I do like it. It fits in the cup holder. It's a nice cup. It's good quality. It's very expensive, but, I'll probably use it a lot, so it'll be worth the cost per use, I would assume. But it's not, like, I don't understand the impetus to collect. If you go on
You're
TikTok,
fucking
you can
joking.
see people that have every single color of this cup, and it's just like hanging on their wall.
The question I now have for you, please forgive my ignorance here, but the only reference point I have for this in my life.
So both defenses are trash right now.
That children wanted 30 years ago. You're telling me this cup is a global, or it is a national phenomenon that is the craze of all buying crazes, that people are physically going to places to get something and not just demanding that the internet bring it to them?
Yes, and I don't get it. It's a cup. Like the Beanie Babies, that had its own weird bubble. But
Same
I
thing.
guess
You can cuddle with that at least.
It was a unique toy. It was, I know like moms in Naperville are kind of what made the Beanie Baby blew up, but you could kind of say like, okay, like kids liked collecting them and they had different cute little fuzzy faces, but this is just a cup. I don't get it. And I guess like I don't think like the people doing it, like I have no beef with them. Like they're not really doing anything like that bad. It's not really hurting anyone. But I just find it bizarre.
Chris Cody, why are you just?
Well, I'm pro Stanley. If you're out there watching, Stanley, I love you. Okay.
Why are you guys showing
Chris wants a free cup.
this
shilling for Stanley Cup over here?
fraud Stanley?
My wife loves him. She has 4.
Okay, really? All right. Mike Ryan, I need
Shut up.
some assistance with something here because I really don't know how to talk about some of the things in the industry that I want to talk about without people feeling like I am salty or bitter about something. Aaron Rodgers is in the news, and then I become anti-Pat McAfee when I couldn't possibly be more supportive of Pat McAfee, Shannon Sharp, everyone who bets on themselves and gets to use this system. Like, I want to support what those people are doing. I want those people to win. Shannon Sharp's podcast is a monster. He just had on Cat Williams. I have never heard, I mean, Cat Williams does some of that, but that interview that he did with Cat Williams has now set the internet on fire because you never see a great comedian take out everyone else in his industry name by name, and that comedian has the credentials, even though he's a little bit crazy. He's got all of the credentials where you say that man is telling the truth, but he's also such a great storyteller that he can always be lying. And he took out Steve Harvey, and he took out Cedric the Entertainer, and he took out 1,000 guys in this interview with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, who can keep up with anybody, Shannon Sharp couldn't check him on all the things he was claiming because he took out Kevin Hart. He called him a Hollywood plant, as if he's but while also saying Bernie Mac was the greatest to ever do it. So he's got the comedy credentials to take out everybody, and he did.
It was an electric interview, Dan. I was watching the entire thing, and I was like, my one question is, yes, Cat is a little eccentric. He says sometimes things that are a little out there. How many times do you need to say something that's a little out there to be discredited on all the things you say? Because he took out Harvey Weinstein, he took out Diddy, he took out Steve Harvey, he took out Kevin Hart, he took out, you name it, he's taken them out. So what does he have to say to be discredited on all that stuff?
I think that's as good an interview as you will hear this month. Just because Cat Williams is that entertaining, and Cat Williams will say things that you just don't hear. He is...
What do you have on South Beach Sessions?
Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a good one.
Hey, Rod.
From the hood? The
interview.
Rodriguez.
The Alex Rodriguez, yes.
Baseball player.
Old Kugler, when he left here, that was a real taunt from you.
He's gone.
Well, I haven't seen him this week.
He's been gone for like 2 weeks already.
I don't know where.
He's 000 on the calendar.
I don't know where he is.
Ooh.
Out of office.
Yes, he said we cracked the machine. He said that that A-Rod was cracked in the South Beach session that we did with him. Is that tomorrow?
You're asking me? I'm the guy that just asked you what's coming up.
Well, but
it was a genuine question.
But yeah, it's a genuine answer, and I didn't realize until after I'd answered it that you were taunting me with Shannon Sharp got a better guest.
Well, no, you said right before that's the best interview you'll hear all month.
Yeah, and I'm like, don't sell yourself short, big dog.
Yeah, that's Timberwolves owner Alex Rodriguez.
Come on, you can do this.
Tomorrow it is Timberwolves owner Alex Rodriguez.
Well, it better be Cougs. You better get out. You better delete that 000.
A cracked open Alex Rodriguez. I give him a gift. I don't want to spoil it. But
oh, yes, you do.
Do you know what this is? Do you know what this gift is? I gave in a public moment, because I've been critical of A-Rod over the years. I have beaten him up.
No.
Spoiler alert.
Now that's going to make news.
We were worried about the Saltburn spoilers.
We're going well beyond what I was trying to accomplish with Foot Girls.
And you don't even see it because it's below the desk.
Yeah, a little below.
That's better than Cat Williams, Dano.
Below deck.
There was a gift.
Tune in tomorrow. What a tease.
It is a fact.
It's like Wedding Crashers.
That is correct advertising. Tune in tomorrow. I will.
Dinner feels so good.
I will give Alex Rodriguez a gift under the desk. Yes, you can make that as sensual as you'd like.
You may go viral for this gift that you give him under the desk.
I believe I will. Do any of you know? Is there video yet that anyone has seen?
I saw it as it was happening. I was on a Zoom meeting and I burst out laughing because, It's so graphic what's happening under that table.
I saw it as well, and anytime you see a gift under a desk, it's something.
Yeah, that's tomorrow on South Beach Sessions.
Let's go, baby!
It won't be as good as the Cat Williams.
That's going to be a pretty big number.
Who did you take? Yeah.
Who's the plan?
For sure, Kevin Hart. He put out an outline that was incredible.
Another South Beach Sessions guest.
I love Kevin Hart. Great partner of ours.
I would love to do 5 hours with Cat Williams. Unfortunately, that's Shannon Sharps. And we had a chance to hire Shannon Sharps.
I only watch a few good men.
Folks, whether you're hosting a game, the dub, because it's packed with half a pound of cheese, sauce, and other toppings, and comes at an incredible price. Make the game-winning call and grab a DiGiorno Classic Crust Pizza from the
I need to
grocery
stop being
store
so inconsistent
today.
with
It's not
my play
delivery,
calls.
it's DiGiorno.
You know my game?
He, for some reason, would do a
Gary Stevens in person.
of the offensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins and the University of Miami. Go ahead. Do you want to do that for the people? Your Gary Stevens impersonation? You want to give people some of that? 30 years in the making.
What? Who needs me? Oh, that?
My whole life. You're gonna go to
Whatever. Very probably. It's me.
This is the Dan Levatar Show with the Stuka.
Starting to pull away in the first half. Franchise record 40 points in the first half of the playoff game.
It's time for Thursday Thunder. It's presented by
The NFL record for the largest margin of victory in a conference championship game is 48 points by the Buffalo Bills against the Los Angeles Chargers in the 1990 season, 51-3. I'm halfway there.
What do you have for people?
Cooked up a little something for Thursday Thunder. We are staying in one game today, ladies and gentlemen. The Denver Nuggets versus the aforementioned Golden State Warriors. I like the Nuggets -3 tonight. I also like over on Chris Paul assists at 7.5. And I'm also slotting in Nikola Jokic over 25.5 points. So over 25.5 points, over 7.5 assists for Chris Paul. Denver Nuggets -3 gives you a nice +470 little parlay scheme.
Jessica, why are you making?
Yes.
I didn't think he had to go parlay ski there either. I don't know why you made it.
Tony.
I call him a parlay ski.
That sounds pretty good.
How so? How is he overachieving?
3 picks.
But yes, very serious picks and.
I thought
Thursday Thunder is a serious, different
That's my
game.
bad.
Totally
Different
different game.
game.
Yeah, it's a totally different game.
My bad.
I can't believe we're going to get to Mina Kimes here in a second, but Mike Ryan, I've got to call you out on something because it is a bit pathetic, and it's nice to see the general eagerness of Jeremy Taché around. Hey, the Heat win in Los Angeles. Lakers a pretty important team. Okay, you can make the regular seasons irrelevant, but let's go Heat chance. And then Shams is reporting deepening disconnect, and hardened Heat fan Mike Ryan, who's seen so much. That happening against LeBron, the reporting of the deepening disconnect, and you being like, yeah, who cares when they're 35 games in and they're making the LeBron thing shake and crumble. You're a bit hardened and cynical and got too much sports in your life if you can't feel that a little bit based on what it is that you and LeBron had for a relationship.
Correct, on the air. Off the air, I'm trade machining like a son of a gun.
Mina Kimes is with us now. It is nice to see you, Mina. We are headed into the biggest Dolphin game since I don't know when. I'm going to say it's bigger than the one they just played against the Ravens because I think Buffalo is better than Miami, and this is a super interesting game. Are you in the camp that believes that Miami has been exposed here and the injuries are going to be a problem, and Miami would have very little reason for confidence against this Bills team this week?
First, I'd like to say I love your polo shirt today, Dan. Haven't seen that one before. I am nervous if I'm Miami, and I'm mostly nervous because of the defense. Buffalo fans will give them no sympathy for the injuries. Obviously, they had their fair share of injuries, but I think the timing of them is such a problem. Those injuries came earlier in the season, and you've seen that Bills defense make adjustments, young players stepping up. They've evolved their scheme, whereas Miami, and I think this was a real big problem against Baltimore, where you saw so many miscommunications on the back end. Lamar Jackson was amazing, but guys were open. There were busted coverages all over the place. They got them with the motion play that they use. That's a problem at this point in the season. The fact that you are down Xavier Howard, obviously Bradley Chubb is horrible. Jalen Phillips is already injured. It's a really bad time to lose your most important players, and then to lose them right before this game. I'll be very curious to see how Vic Fangio approaches that challenge, because it is not going to be easy for him, especially with some of the deficiencies in personnel in the secondary.
Well, what do you
Thank you.
as someone who digs deep
40,
on where
35, 30,
advantages
25, 20,
what do you
15,
do
10,
with Fangio's
5.
never had any answers for Josh Allen? Like, if you're building your whole division on toppling the Bills, statistically, Fangio, no matter who his defense is, can never do anything against Josh Allen. So why
Miller
would you change?
picks it off at the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Down the right sideline. He will not be caught. Touchdown, New Orleans. And they have broken it open.
Really different. I don't know if you remember this, but Stephon Diggs went absolutely nuclear in that game, and he hasn't really been a factor for a few weeks now. This Bills offense under Joe Brady has been more about like ball control, throwing to the tight ends. So I think for Fangio, it's a different challenge from what it was earlier in the season. I do think having Ramsey in helps a lot. I think on that side of the ball, your hope, frankly, and this is something that I think Fangio will probably orient his game plan towards, is that you get YOLO Josh Allen. We're coming off of a game, by the way, where Josh Allen did not play well against New England. He has been a little bit up and down this season. There are games where he just feels compelled to go nuclear and put on the cape and make throws with 3 guys covering 1 guy downfield. And the truth, Dan, is the best way to get him to do that has nothing to do with Vic Fangio. It's the offense. The offense has to put up points pretty much every drive to force Josh Allen into that mindset where he feels like he has to be superhero Josh to keep up with him.
Can you explain to me, please, just in ways that I can understand, because the position is changing so much.
Damn, we are at 62 snaps in the first half already. Okay, so it's going to be Baltimore against New Orleans, because I'm winning this game regardless. I could literally just put the controller down and I would still be winning.
The style of football that we think is reckless and fun and can be great, and he can have 5 turnovers. Explain to me what happened against the Patriots, where the Patriots almost won that game, even though they had like 4 first-half turnovers, because Josh Allen was so terrible. What did Belichick do to Josh Allen that's repeatable?
Nothing. He was just off. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. I feel like with Josh Allen, it's almost less about what the defense does and more about what version of him you get. The risk-reward balance is always the thing.
I'll not
and the
use
reason we accept some of the riskier
no huddle
plays
right now.
because the reward is so great. If you happen to get one of those games where
under pressure, he gets faster in
animation. Not enough
animation.
towards reward, because he was just off throwing the ball in that game. It wasn't like the Bills, Patriots defense was throwing anything crazy at him. They do have a very good run defense, better than Miami. But
the hell?
It really came down to just the quarterback having an off day and then putting too much pressure on himself. And I want to just, if you're a Miami fan, you're listening to this and you're saying, well, she's making it sound like because of her defense, we don't have a chance. I don't believe that. I really think if your offense can bounce back, and we have seen this Miami offense, by the way.
Oh, wow, what a dot in between 3 defenders.
If they can bounce back and put pressure on Allen to keep up, that is how I think you start forcing him into making some of those decisions.
Explain something else to me. Why were you one of the very few people I heard saying weeks ago, when a certain hyperventilation had taken over the 49ers and all they can do offensively, that you were telling us, hey, Ravens really match up well with them? It felt like that, Mike Florio's over here saying Ravens are going to get the shit kicked out of them. Everybody thought that the 49ers
are going to out physical, out tough you, but nobody does that to the Ravens. What were you seeing in the matchups that you were telling us before anybody else was, hey, the Ravens they can be seen as better than the 49ers?
I do want to start saying I did pick the Niners to win that game, so I'm not trying to take a huge victory lap. I did not think that the Ravens would get the bleep kicked out of them, however, because the Ravens defense is very well built to play both of these Shanahan-type offenses in Miami and San Francisco. I mean, that back-to-back performance from that defense against those two offenses who've been so dominant over the course of the season is incredibly impressive. And there are two things I think really matter. One is that they have elite linebacking, which
my first
rare
pick
in the NFL
of the
right
game.
Now. It's been interesting as well, frankly, I think Miami has suffered from this a little bit. You look at a team like Philadelphia that chose not to invest in the linebacker position because for years, Dan, we thought in addition to evaluating running backs on offense, off-ball linebacker was not as important. I would argue that right now, a linebacker is more important than it's ever been because these offenses, these Shanahan offenses, are basically built to mess
Jordan
with
Miller
linebackers by always making you wrong, whether it's through the option stuff, the RPO stuff, all the motions and whatnot. So the Ravens come in with, next to San Francisco, the best linebacker duo in the NFL. Roquan Smith has been unbelievable this year, and his ability to cover, pressure, basically take out the
They're running the ball when they're down 31. Okay.
Miami and San Francisco is paramount to beating both those teams. And then the other thing is their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, is brilliant and, in my view, should be the #1 head coaching hire candidate this cycle.
It's so interesting to me, though, Mina, because I feel like when they talk about Sirianni, and I couldn't believe I'm seeing Adam Schefter say, he's safe. He's safe. Sirianni's not going to be fired. When I'm watching a team that's been pretty great, and now people are questioning the Eagles, and I thought...
Ooh, that was close. I almost got called for unsportsmanlike.
Their linebackers can't cover anybody. Their linebackers are terrible.
And it's not just the linebacker. Well, I didn't know that Adam said that Sirianni's safe, but that's funny. The way you just did that, it's like when there's a natural disaster on Facebook and you can like tag that I've been picturing Adam Schefter like going around the NFL and tagging coaches safe. Or he's the Reaper, right? Because they'll let you know if your job is in jeopardy. It's good for Nick Sirianni. He is not having a good season. I would say he bears a lot of responsibility. And it's taken a second, I think, to get to that point for some of the issues that they've had on both sides of the ball. I actually think offensively, coaching has been more of the problem, whereas defensively, it's a personnel thing. Linebacker, you came into the season knowing linebacker was weakness, but the thought was, well, they still have this elite front, and they have these two good covered corners, they'll be fine. But the front hasn't been elite. The corners have either been injured or not playing well. And so this defense, and it's
what the fuck?
Do you do well? And the answer is not really anything right now.
We've seen progressively as the season's gone on that defenses have caught on to what the Eagles have done over the last few years. And I guess it culminates, it builds to crescendo with someone that was formerly on their staff just totally taking them apart. And I know A.J. Brown helped the players responsible somewhat, but it appears from watching the Eagles these last few weeks is they're out of moves on offense.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
When you compare them to some of the offenses, the ones we were talking about, San Francisco and Miami, or I would say Baltimore, frankly, when you watch that offense and some of the things that Todd Monken is doing creatively, the Eagles' offense feels relatively simplistic. It was that way last year, too. It is premised around the idea that they have a numbers advantage.
Panther 60. Panther 60.
The advantage it was last year, this year, and then talent. We've got a better wide receiver doer than you. Why do we need to do all kinds of crazy stuff to get them open and the motions and all that stuff?
Nah.
Like you said, defenses are keyed in on that, and when you lose that numbers advantage, and when guys aren't executing,
same plays, are just spread out more.
Schematic advantage. Suddenly, you're just not dominant anymore. They're not a
bad
offense, but they're no longer great because the coaching isn't putting them in the same position you see with some of the really, really good offenses around the NFL right now.
I'm going to break with you real quick, but just out of curiosity, if we gave you endless questions about football because we were forever fascinated, do you think you could answer them endlessly? Like that you would enjoy informing our audience because you care about this stuff so ridiculously?
Like if you were asking me about like Bucks, Panthers, and Jags, Titans, and like you really want to get gross. Let's get gross. Ask me the most unpleasant football question you can come up with after the break.
All right, let's do this, and let's speed it up, because I do believe that Mina would be forever titillated by being able to answer your endless football questions. Let's do this interactively next.
Don Lebatard. Mike Marty Schottenheimer passed away. Stugatz.
Why did you say so happy?
Say that so very excited. Well, I was wrong tone. I was not excited. I was not excited.
Unbelievable.
I was merely pointing out that a Browns legend had passed away.
Hold on. That was unbelievable.
Marty Schottenheimer died.
Hold on.
And maybe the greatest coach to never win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Never won a Super Bowl.
Let's just settle down. Let's all
R.I.P.
This is the Dan Lebatard Show with the Stugatz.
Ah! What the fuck?
I'm now officially a bit disgusted by Mina because she wants to talk about Carolina Panthers football, and I can't do it. It's too dirty for me.
The All-Star teams have already been released. Damn.
The high-end questions like who's better, the Dolphins or the Lions? The Dolphins or the Lions? Because I think they're kind of the same. They're mirrors of each other in different conferences. Who's better, Lions or Dolphins?
Ooh, the Dolphins are the better team, but the injuries on defense make me a little bit hesitant to pick them right now. I'm still going to go Dolphins, so I still believe that offense can put up points on anyone. Also, Bucs-Panthers isn't even close to being the grossest thing this week. Like, that game actually matters. The Bucs need to win. Have you looked at the list of quarterbacks who are starting? We're getting Wentz-Darnold. I cannot wait for Wentz-Darnold.
No, you're not that dirty.
Give it to me. Give me Wentz-Darnold.
I'm not going to get that dirty yet. I want to ask you if, at the age of 35, is Travis Kelce at the end of this?
I don't think so. I think obviously he's not quite what he was
Let's go.
year, although they've been
Contavious
his
Street.
snaps until recently. But I still think when you still watch him, he still gets open. He still bodies guys. He just has a few more drops, a little bit less juice in the step.
Can you give us a Jets-Patriots preview, perhaps?
No, come on.
Yes.
Straight to the X-rated stuff. Are we ready to
Aggressive. Can we go? Come on. Go.
I got a good one here. How about a preview of Easton Stick versus Blaine Gabbert?
Wolf.
So Easton Stick, after a very, very disastrous start, I thought looked a little bit better against the Buffalo Bills. His mobility that's a factor that can be hard to project. Obviously, the Chargers aren't really playing anyone right now, but I would say the fact that he has been playing more football than Gabbert, who obviously has not been playing,
gross.
He hasn't had to.
You're gross. You're disgusting.
I can't believe you actually.
There's something there with these.
You disgust me. You want to now go Gabbert on us when I refuse to believe that I will not believe that Gabbert's starting an NFL football game this weekend. Come on.
Is he the worst quarterback you saw? I don't think so.
Come on.
Gabbert's won games.
You're disgusting.
C.J. Beathard played nice.
C.J. Beathard protected the football. And he played massive. They needed to win that game. C.J. Beathard, I thought they ran the ball well with Travis Etienne, which obviously helped a great deal. But I thought Beathard, he also showed a little something running the ball. I have a confession about him, which is I think he's tougher than he is purely because his name is Beat Hard, which I also realize has other connotations.
Come on. Tomorrow with Alex Rodriguez on South Beach Session.
That's absent context for Mina. Is Mike Vrabel going to be coaching his last game in Tennessee? It's been a weird week in terms of leveraging the media. I think Rand Carthon is incentivized to kind of play out. No, we love Mike. We love Mike. Mike had a lot of success over there prior to Rand Carthon, and that's always a dicey scenario. It's in the best interest of the Tennessee Titans for Rand Carthon to make it seem like no trouble in paradise whatsoever, because maybe he kind of wants the Patriots to trade for him.
He's not he's not the problem in Tennessee. That team was bad coming into this year. I thought they would be the worst in the division. The offensive line, they're a rebuilding team that didn't really go full rebuild because
Hunter Lipke with the catch.
Tannehill around, and then obviously they started Levis, but Vrabel's not the problem in Tennessee. By the way, speaking of dirty, the Jags are playing them. The Jags have to win this game. I'll probably pick the Jags, but do not underestimate Mike Vrabel's ability to drag teams into the mud. He will do some of the grossest stuff in that game. We're talking fake punts, weird rules, exploitation that we don't even know about. I would stay so far away.
I think Tennessee one last ride with Tannehill and Vrabel as a super dog ruining everything. The Titans are actually pretty well positioned though. They have the most cap room out of anybody next year. Like they did a good job of digging themselves out of a bad situation.
This was a rebuilding year, yeah.
You're dirty, though, because Jeremy was whispering in my ear in a way that made me uncomfortable the names of quarterbacks who are playing this weekend.
Jeff Driscoll's going.
Against Browning. That's a football game that's being played this weekend.
Like, we got corrected because I think the Texans, the year that TJ Yates started a playoff game, had 4 quarterbacks. So prior to this year, they were the first team to have 4
Ryan Mallett
to make the playoffs. But not nearly as strong as this Browns team. The Browns have won up them and decided, okay,
shit.
Just to make sure we have that record.
Jeff,
Here comes Driscoll.
Jeff Driscoll, I believe, briefly tried out to play wide receiver when he was in Cincinnati. Like, he was considering a position change because he thought his career as a quarterback was over. Oh, gosh. It's a Jeff Driscoll revenge game, then, right? Got to factor that into account.
Gross.
He's got legs. He can move. But, you know, Jake Browning... when you look at all these backup quarterbacks, a real sentence that has to be said is Jake Browning is the creme de la creme of this group.
Come on.
We're still waiting on that Jets-Patriots preview.
No, not too fast.
This has been disgusting, by the way. But my question was too gross.
No, well, Stidham O'Connell.
Both quarterbacks who I think are probably near the top if we're ranking all of the gross quarterbacks. I would probably... O'Connell's been playing longer. And I think that I kind of like what this Raiders defense has been doing lately. They've been sneakily pretty good under Patrick Graham, a lot better than you would expect. Don't love Max Crosby versus that offensive line, so I'll go Vegas and O'Connell.
I do enjoy this part though. Antonio Pierce is going to be the first genius in that sport that descends from interning for Howard Stern. Antonio Pierce is going to get that job, correct? Based on the fact, yeah, he interned for the Howard Stern show, and you didn't know that? Yes, Antonio Pierce did that, and now he kind of Jeff Saturdays his way into a job a little bit, right? He was the guy who was available near, but no, he's got coaching experience. He's not Jeff Saturday, but Antonio Pierce is going to end up getting a prime job because they won 6 games at the end of the season.
I think he'll also get a prime job because, and this is something we probably don't talk about enough when we talk about organizations and decisions they made. The Raiders don't have a ton of, and I don't mean this to diminish Antonio Pierce, just try to understand what they might do, especially after
30, 25, 20.
They gave out most recently to Josh McDaniels before that Gruden. They don't have a lot to spend on head coach, so I suspect they might see the opportunity to just stay in-house, ride with the guy that, who has been doing a good job this year, and stick with him, especially after they let Bisaccia go. Not that that would have been.
Is that a problem for any other team, Mina? That the finances of a coach, that's a problem for a lot of organizations in that sport?
Yes, it is. And I said we don't talk about it enough. Like, it does affect decision making, not just with coaching hires, but with players. Like, you have to look at how much cash owners have on hand. It's why the Bengals changed the name of their stadium, because they literally needed the money to pay Joe Burrow, and we'll see who else. See if Jamar Chase would be next. But that's the thing about NFL owners, right? Like, a lot of them are like, the 3rd generation of owning like a pencil factory. It's not like tech where it's like Mark Cuban, and there's a lot of, I'm not calling them broke, but they're not exactly, the sort of wealth that we see sometimes in other leagues.
Mina, there's a quarterback that is 6-2 in his last 8 with his team in the playoffs right now, fighting for a division, and we are not talking about him. Gardner Minshew. Why are we not talking about Gardner Minshew and the Colts?
Because he's not the reason why they win games. I would say that would be my first answer.
I would debate
that. I think that this is interesting because it's kind of Coach of the Year Bowl, because Shane Steichen, D'Amico Ryan's probably deservedly favorite. Shane Steichen has done a fantastic job with this Colts team, despite the fact that Gardner Minshew has given him pretty limited quarterback play, tries to turn over the football a lot. He is not playing at a very high level. I wouldn't even, like, when we go through that list of backups, I probably wouldn't put him at the top.
I acknowledge you probably addressed this on your podcast, Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny and all the other wonderful things that you do for ESPN. But bad defenses are giving the Kansas City Chiefs problems.
Ah, shit.
It's not just the good, and they're going to run into plenty of good ones in the playoffs, or maybe just.
Stugotz says he wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I don't disagree, and I think playing Blaine Gabbert, even though you know that Patrick Mahomes isn't necessarily the issue there, but I think this offense just needs more reps somehow. It doesn't look like they got a snowball's chance, even though they have Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. What is the issue with this offense?
Is that the clip where Stugatz, where I just saw it on my socials, where he's like incredibly close to the camera for some reason?
Yes.
What was the thinking?
A viral take. We wanted to have a viral take.
It worked. It worked. Dan produced it. You noticed.
Should I try to do that? I don't know if I want to be...
Yes, let's do that.
Let's zoom into her screen. Can we just maximize that?
Let's see how we do that. We've got 2 minutes left in the segment, and we've got to hit
You can't distort the image. She has to do it because she's not going to be able to do
Okay, but no, what do you mean? Don't underestimate her. She's not an old person like you.
Can you zoom in? You just bring your face to the camera?
All right, but you've got to do a take.
Oh, I have to go really close to the camera.
All right, let's do this. This is what we need from you, Mina. You've got about 90 seconds left. They'll give you a countdown. But we are trying to get a viral take from you that goes as close to your mouth as it can, but you have to say something that's at least a little polarized meant to go viral. So you have 90 seconds right now.
Wait, I think, okay, wait, am I close enough or should I get closer to the camera?
How should we do this?
Closer.
We've got 80 seconds left.
Even closer.
I'm sweating. I was on first take all
I'm talking
morning.
about like Saltburn bathtub close.
Right. This was your idea, Mina.
All right, we have 70 seconds left, and it's okay. I'm giving you time to think about this, and we will work on our end to get as close to your mouth as we can.
Okay. Here's my, I don't like my teeth. I just chipped both of them, by the way, because I grind them so much, but everything. All right. Okay.
We're good.
50 seconds.
Okay. Here is my potentially viral take. I think the Kansas City Chiefs will still play in the AFC Championship.
What?
How? Oh, it's good, right?
What?
I can't believe I'm letting you guys
good.
do this.
Explain with 20 seconds left.
I think outside of the Baltimore Ravens, when you look around the division, or the conference rather, I think all the AFC teams.
Oh my God.
About Miami's defense. We'll see what happens with Buffalo. The Jags are a mess, but they'll probably win. The Browns are scary, but I think that they'll get knocked out by the Ravens, depending on how that thing shakes out. So when you look around and you're like, okay, well, one team has Patrick
3
Mahomes.
picks.
I know that the quarterback, or
2
the
picks
offense
by
has been a mess.
all
but the
3 of them
defense
by
still looks pretty damn good.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Feeling good about your fantasy draft picks, but not sure what to eat? Make it easy on yourself. Order in
Shit.
Now you can root for your squad while your food and drinks are on the way. Yes, that means burgers, chips, dips, soda, pizza, wings, and so much more, delivered straight to your door.
Ugh. It looks so bad.
That is so untrue.
In all likelihood, they would have to knock them out in the conference championship, right? Because Cleveland's locked into the 5.
Yeah.
No one likes seeing their face that close up.
Okay.
I don't even know what I was saying.
Whose idea was it? Was it my idea? It was my idea.
Yeah, it was your idea. Great producing, by the way. This is the post-game show.
She wanted to go viral. She asked me.
I don't think that'll go viral. That wasn't even that hot.
I mean, it was a pretty hot
To do
take.
the opposite of what
You have them in the conference championship. If we're doing this based on form, there's several teams that you would take in the AFC over them. Them struggling against Cincinnati and that tire fire of a defense, giving Harrison Butker 6 field goals, made me really concerned.
Oh, but everyone is doing this to the Chiefs, and I understand how it happens. You're going to lose some players on offense. Your wide receivers aren't as good, and they look like they have struggled. But, Mina, we were talking about this earlier in the week. 8 straight years of winning that division when everyone in competition in that division is coming for your things and drafting to have strengths where you have weaknesses, and the salary cap makes the schedule super hard. Staying 8 years on top of a division is physically grueling and hard. They're allowed to be less good. They're allowed to have a road playoff game because football's hard.
Yeah, they made mistakes in terms of roster construction on the offense. You look around the league, you see some of the young wide receivers and free agents that other teams have signed. Clearly, they chose poorly, although Rashee Rice looks pretty good. And then some of the assets that they've been able to acquire, including from the Hill trade, they poured into the defense, which, again, I was stressed, looks very good to me, especially when I compare them to some of the other units around not just AFC, but the NFL. I mean, the offense, the problem with the offense is just last year, and I talked about this actually on my show with.
Shut up, fans.
It's not that dissimilar structurally from what it was last year. The players even are not that dissimilar. The problem is when you're that kind of offense where you're not really explosive and it's just all about ball control and efficiently moving your way up and down the field, if one little thing goes wrong, a sack, a hold, offside, whatever, a drop obviously has been an issue, you kind of send the whole thing spiraling, and that's just happened to them too many times. I don't think they're a great team by any means. My point about them, or I guess my belief in them, is more just reflecting the fact that I think that the AFC is pretty wide open after Baltimore.
For the love of God, can we get to Jets Patriots, please?
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's the dirtiest of what we have going on this weekend, correct?
Well, it's interesting because it might be Bill Belichick's last game in New England, which is why I would never pick against the Patriots in this scenario. Like, if there's anyone who will pull out all, I talked about Mike Vrabel pulling out all the stops, Belichick will do whatever it takes to win this game. Truly, whatever disgusting thing he can come up with.
The dirtiest.
Against this, the dirtiest thing against this Jets offense, and the defense still is like pretty good. So I do think that the Patriots will win this game. And I don't know what's going to happen with Belichick, by the way. Everyone I've talked to has a different view on
that. Would have been a good take. See, that would have been a good place for you to have a super strong opinion on Belichick will do the dirtiest things to win and then will coach the Chargers or whatever it is that you'd be willing to stake your credibility on. That would
prediction.
Well, but your credibility with a prediction can. I mean, look, I don't want to be teaching you this after all these years. You've had plenty of success without any of our help. But you can go viral. The show, the Mina Kimes show with Lenny, can go viral if you're looking how to find clippable viral moments that aren't just your great at football analysis.
I don't think people have strong feelings about Belichick. And that's crazy. Dan, you and I talked about this on Pablo's show. You know, we're talking about the best coach in NFL history potentially being axed, and I have not seen anyone with like truly strong opinions about it.
Because Mina,
good or bad.
But don't you think though, Mina, because the sport can't be so cutthroat and dumb that we think that guy's no longer good at his job so quickly. Like, it's stupid. It's not far removed from what we're talking about with Adam Schefter having to say, hey, Sirianni's safe, when you're like, of course he's safe. They've been in the playoffs every year, and it's hard to do that in that sport. Like, of course he's safe, but if that's where we're going to put the standard on these coaches, then of course it's going to be stupid and unreasonable.
Bill Belichick furiously refreshing Facebook to see if he's been tagged safe. Or he calls it my face. I think Bill Belichick is still a very good football coach, but he's made two really bad decisions, or a couple of. Are you doing it on me? All right, a couple of really horrible decisions. One of which is, of course, how he handled the offense in terms of handing the reins over to his buddies. Basically ruining Mac Jones and setting the franchise back. It's probably his biggest mistake he's made as an NFL coach. And then the roster construction. He is the GM of this team, and the decisions he's made, both in the draft and free agency when they had a lot of money, have been very poor. Ideally, I think you would keep him as a coach and get him to cede roster responsibilities, but everything I've heard and just sort of the indignity of splitting the baby, I guess, that way suggests to me that they won't do that.
Can't you just say?
I don't think that was hot enough to go viral. That had a lot of caveats.
I know, but can't you just say he should be fired? Like, why can't
There's like a dog hair on that microphone.
Why can't you just say?
Used the lint. Okay,
why?
Fine, zoom in again.
Why?
Fine, zoom in again. I'll do it. Do you want me to start and then zoom in again?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just give us a second, but don't be distracted by it. Just don't.
I'm not distracted.
Okay, I'm sorry to do this to you.
No, I'm ready.
No, you're not.
My name is Mina Kimes. I work for ESPN. I think that Bill Belichick, the greatest coach in the history of the NFL, should be fired. Even though it's really not his fault, like everything that's happened, and it's only really if you should cede roster responsibility. Ideally, you'd be able to keep him on because he is a brilliant defensive play caller, and he'd be able to fix the offense and give someone else the opportunity to fix the roster.
Mike, Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, Niko Jovic picks for LeBron James, works on the trade machine.
You were looking at my computer.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their
Hunter
projection
Lipke
for a
with
wide
another.
variety of stats.
Will y'all shut up? Taco Charlton with the sack. Still gonna win this game, but I'll do the Super Bowl in my next video. $500 yards. Not happy. Yeah. Why did I get in a minute bar when I'm winning? Awkward. Didn't sound like your defense sucks. I did that on purpose so I can have an opportunity. Yeah. Get Brissett the final possession of the conference championship game. Now it's my turn. Turn on chew clock. Good. Down. That was right. And yes, on fourth down, I will be going to the front. I'm just going to throw it up for Hail Mary. And see, that's why I did it. So I can get a penalty in the end zone. In the end zone. To put this game on ice. Got the first down. Why? Let's go! And a toddy! And a toddy! To put the game on ice! Let's go! Let me get my lineman involved. Give him a catch. Or do that. To really put the salt in the wound, I'm gonna go for the onside kick. Wow. Yeah, this game's out of reach. 70 points on the board. Tying the NFL record. $600 yards, really. No. Wow. He mossed me? What? You got mossed by a fullback. Are you serious? Hey. What are you doing? Yeah. Doesn't matter. One first down and it's over. Yeah. Really? Good job, defense. Seals the deal. Just what I lit. I just wanted to kill the clock that time. Moving on to the Super Bowl and franchise mode. A more grueling path to it this time around. Give up like 60 points. That would be an NFL record. Tied NFL record for most total points. Actually, the franchise, I think the Cowboys is 66 points, I think. But still, tied NFL record for most points ever scored in a game with 73. Not happy it gave up 63, but did the Super Bowl in the offseason in its entirety in my next video. My boy Arnett is a star dev. Andrew Dow, enhanced in pass coverage. Should be an X Factor, but 99 overall. 2 more points of awareness. Now my kicker is maxed out in both. Sons of bitches, that's good shit. All-Star team has been announced. Oh wow. Already? It's not even February yet. I'm watching college basketball in a little bit. View the bracket. Oh wow. Wow. 3 touchdowns for Lamar. Carson Wentz even got in the game. Jake Adams 3 touchdowns. Lamar had 40 yards. Tyler Batty and Sky Moore scored another touchdown. Well, yeah, of course. David Duvernay 2 touchdowns and Peoples-Jones with a touchdown. That would do it. 1 pick for Jordan Battle and Devin Witherspoon. A sack for Odafe Owe, Madubuike, and Michael Pierce. That wasn't a shocker. The top teams won each conference pretty much, other than the Texans being knocked out. Wow. Huh. The 5 seed played the number 7 seed. The number 1 seed's lost. And I can always put Mahomes put up that much of a stinker. It's crazy. So I'm playing the number 7 seed. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a dub, but it's pretty damn close. But, like I said, I thank everyone who gives my channel a view and watches my videos, and I hope everybody gives me likes and subscribers so I can build up my YouTube channel to be best in the world. Well, I will see y'all next time. I'm taking tomorrow off. I will see y'all on Saturday with another video.